The best Coke?
Hello! We are not advertising Coke. Put that down, young lady. Hello, everybody. Sadie, how are you this evening? Since you were the first one in.
Great.
Glad to hear it. Deb, how are you?
I'm doing well, sir. A little bit of a flare, but I'm doing okay.
Okay, we'll take flares. I've had flares. Jenny, how are you, ma'am?
I'm all right. I need to give myself an injection, but other than that, I'll
Well,
be
while
fine
you're
in a few
working on
minutes.
that, I have some really good news. Like, huge for me news. And Kyle's here and Marie's here. I was trying to let some more people come in, but I might just go ahead and fucking say it because I'm really excited about it. Okay. So I'm going to big screen myself. No, I can't do it. I hate being big screen. Never mind. Okay, so quick backstory for everybody. Anybody who doesn't know, this is the quick backstory. When I was 18, I was driving a car and wrecked it, and my mother died. And I've had PTSD for 33 years since. I spent from 18 to 23 trying to decide whether to drive off a road and kill myself and make it even or live. That was the first 5 years after my mom died. It was horrible. Then I spent the next, fucking 28 years blaming myself. Feeling guilty, feeling like I didn't deserve anything, nothing good. I wasn't allowed to have anything good because I was a piece of shit human. This is why I have had, it's not that I think, like, I can look at myself as just a general person and, oh, I'm a good person, I'm okay looking. Like, okay, we can do that. But to know that you're a good person deep down inside, I never saw myself as that. And I think one of the reasons I try so hard to help other people is because I'm trying to like make up for it or something. Because I've always gone above and beyond and gave everybody, whoever was around me, everything I've had and given myself nothing. Just who I've always been. So, fast forward to last night. Jenna does her not ladylike stream. Gets done, Oz starts his stream. And Oz is talking about, in the stream, abuse and guilt through the church and what they do to people. He starts opening up. About halfway through, Oz is not Ox, sorry, I saw Ox's name in the chat. Oz is crying and just being honest and just being himself, which made me kind of open up. And everybody in the chat, and we were all talking about how we got spanked as kids and this and that happened as kids and what the church did to us as kids and all this stuff. Mine was all parental related because I didn't really care about church. I never really gave a shit about it. I was ADHD. I couldn't pay attention. I would stare at stuff and play with my fingernails and chew on because I was bored. So there wasn't a lot of cognition with me with church. So last night Oz opened up and he's crying and people are typing stuff in the chat. And in the middle of all this, me opening up my brain and thinking about my childhood and thinking about my mom and thinking about all this stuff that I usually don't think about because it makes me sad. Brian Stevens, and I want to say right now, if anybody knows how to get a hold of him for me. I want to thank him. He just changed my life. He and Oz did. So, I don't remember verbatim what he said in the chat, but he said something to the effect of, unless you go out to do something that you know is wrong, and you're intentionally going to do it, then you should have no reason to have any guilt. My hair stood on end a little bit. I got goosebumps all the way up and down my body. My stomach flipped and my heart started pounding. And for the first time in my life, it clicked. For the first time in my life, it clicked that it's not my fault. And I didn't kill her. It was really her fault. And for the first time ever today, I got mad at my mom and I yelled at her. Because she knew 10 days before the accident that car shouldn't be driven. And I had no idea. and I got behind the wheel and I didn't know. My brother told her while I wasn't home. So I've been carrying that guilt for all these years, and it finally clicked last night. It's not my fault. I was 18. I was a fucking child. I didn't think about consequences. I didn't get in the car and think, none of us do at 18. You don't get in the car and think, oh, I could kill somebody. You don't get in the car and think, oh, maybe I should check the tires, hope the car's okay. We just drive around. Especially when you're a kid and you don't understand. You don't understand implications. No one in my life had that was close to me had died before my mother. I didn't know anything about death. I didn't even have I had pets. I had a pet that died. A cat. That's it. I didn't know. I didn't understand. And for the first time in my life, it's not my fault. I just know it's not my fault now, finally. And I got mad at my mother and I yelled at her. I yelled at her for not fixing that goddamn car and for letting me drive it. And if she would have let my brother try to fix it, it was a $10 part, you guys. It was a $10 part, and she wouldn't let my brother go buy it for her because she was too proud. Because she was too proud. And when we went in that hospital and she was cognitive for the first time after being knocked out from the accident, really clear-headed. She had a tube down her throat. She woke up, she tried to pull the tube out, and she freaked out, of course. We had to calm her down. And then she was looking at us like, what the fuck? What happened? You could see it in her eyes. And my sister said, you were in a car accident. My old name was Beth, by the way. You and Beth were in a car accident. She immediately pointed at me and she, come here. And I went over to her and she started feeling on me and she goes, up, and pointed at me. Now, mind you, she's got a tube down her throat, so she can only do sign language. She only has one hand available because they had tied her hands down because she woke up and freaked out and tried to pull the tube out. So she's sitting there with both legs in traction. Both ulnas and both radiuses broke on both legs. Her foot's broken. Her femur's broken on her right leg. Her left lower arm is broken. She has bruised and cracked ribs and just survived a surgery that should have killed anybody. And why she lived, we don't know. The doctors were like, I don't even know how she lived through it. She had a quarter-size hole in her aorta for 9.5 hours before they got to sew it up and they found it. And she fucking lived. She fucking lived. And the night she died, 2 hours before not even an hour and a half before she died, I had left her hospital room. And I was in there with her all day like I was every day. Month and 3 days, the whole time she was in the hospital. 9 a.m. till they kicked me out at 9 p.m. I hid in her room. The nurses left me in the MICU and closed the curtains around us and hid me in there so nobody knew I was there all day. I was only supposed to be in there for an hour or two at a time. Brought me snacks, brought me crosswords, puzzles, newspapers, whatever I needed. So the night she died, she was sitting up in bed. She had casts on her legs. Otherwise, she was sitting up. She was talking. We were laughing. I confessed all my sins. I confessed everything I had ever done. Mom, I lied to you about this. And she pat my hand. It's okay, baby. It's fine. No, Mom, it's not fine. I'm going to tell you everything I ever did. And I did. Told her about when I had sex. Told her the story I told her everything. I bared my soul. I left the hospital room and an hour and a half later she died. And I guess something in me, I just had to tell her, and I don't know why. It's like I couldn't keep it from coming out of my mouth. I had to tell her everything. And she died an hour and a half later. And I have spent... I'm an idiot. I've spent 33 years of my life fucking everything up because I don't deserve it. Every relationship I've been in, I've sabotaged. Pretty much every single one except for 2. The big ones, I sabotaged all the rest. I have always hated myself for taking the mother away of 7 children. Because it's not just me. She has 6 other kids. And I stole their mother from them. And now I gotta retrain my brain to not blame myself anymore. Because I'm so used to doing it. If something goes wrong, I go, well, I don't deserve it anyways. And that's why when you guys compliment me, I don't know what to do with it. Because I've never viewed myself as anything but a piece of shit. So, luckily, I had a therapy appointment this morning already set up last week. And I went over to see my therapist at 9 a.m., which I never do. I always do after work things. And it was the only time he had available. And I went and talked to him. And as I'm talking to him, it's like more dots are connecting, you know? And I'm going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I've been blaming myself for all of this my entire life. And I've just felt like a piece of shit. Like I don't deserve anything. So now I gotta retrain my brain. I gotta retrain my brain not to beat myself up anymore. Because it's not my fault. She did it. She did it to herself. It's so hard to, somebody dies and you don't want to speak ill of them. And as perfect as my mother was, that pride got her at the end. Because she didn't want my brother to buy a $10 fucking part. He was a mechanic. And he told her not to drive it. It explains why she wasn't mad at me in the hospital. She was checking me out, worried about me. And I didn't know why. Now it dawned on me it's because she knew she fucked up. She knew it was her fault. She was afraid she hurt me. And I just didn't see it. I just couldn't see it until just now. I love you too, Jenna, and I love all of you guys. Like, I don't say that casually. When I sign off at the end of the night and I tell you guys I love you, I fucking mean it. I have an amazing, all these amazing friends. You guys are always so good to me. And you've just seen me through so much. And I love all of you. And I just want to thank you for being my support system when I had no one else. I really, really, really appreciate it. So, I already talked to Oz, and I told Oz about it, and I talked to him after his show a little while ago, and thanked him, and we had a great conversation. And me, him, and Ryan and Wes hung out. He's like, I want to hear it, and I said, I don't care, man. You can hang out. Anybody can hear it. I don't care. So now I just got to find Brian Stevens, because if he hadn't wrote that at that exact time, I don't know if it would have clicked. It finally clicked. So if anybody, please, if you know how to get a hold of Brian Stevens, please contact him for me. Or if you see him in a chat somewhere, because he's usually in people's chats, if you guys see him, let him know I'm trying to get a hold of him. Give him my Twitter, please. I just want to hug those 2 motherfuckers right now so bad. It was just like the perfect storm, but not a storm, you know? All of it was it just happened perfectly. Thank you, Randolph. I love all you guys. And you better be around forever, because I don't know what I'd do without you motherfuckers now. After 2.5 fucking years of having you all have my back, I don't know what I'd do without you. So, all right. I'm going to need just a minute. So you guys go ahead and talk. Jenny, if there's anything on your mind you want to start talking about trans-wise, go for it, baby. The show's yours for a few minutes.
That's hard to follow up.
It resonates so much with me, everything he said.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I lost my dad when I was 23.
I can't even imagine. I had a hard time when I lost my brother, but it's nothing like that. I just can't. I mean, the pain, I understand the pain, but wow.
My mom died when I was 33. She was 57.
Oh, that's so young.
Yeah, it is. Breast cancer.
Oh, honey, I'm so sorry.
My dad was the same age I am right now when he passed. So this year has been really hard.
Oh, I bet.
Like to pass him up.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes, Sadie, I
the
know exactly what that's
psychological
like.
abuse that I went through with him,
Mm-hmm.
and to love him but not want to speak ill of him,
Mm-hmm.
it makes therapy very hard because you don't want to talk about them because they're dead and they can't defend themselves.
See, exactly.
But you
You're
have
right.
to
Blame the
talk
dead
about
for
it.
anything, but God damn it, they're wrong sometimes, whether we like it
He
or
beat
not.
the shit out of me like multiple times, like spanking me, and like I was in foster care for 6 months, like when I was little. And
Well,
I'll share all of this tomorrow on during my story.
Just so you guys know, Tuesday night, tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern, Sadie will be on with Neil on the deconversion story. So you guys go check them out and
Very cool.
show Sadie some love.
Absolutely.
Yeah, my mother was hold on, I don't want to tell you wrong. She was 46. She was just about to turn 47. And my sister Susan, who died of cancer 2008, because my mom died in 1989. My sister Susan died of cancer in 2008. She was 46. She had just turned 46. So here I come up behind everybody, and I'm thinking, I'm not living past 46. There's some
That's how I feel too.
Yeah, there's curse in this family. Like, Wendy was a year older than Susan, you know? So she was almost the same exact age as Mom when Susan died. Then she hit 50, and she was like, whew, I made it to 50. And when I hit 50, I called her, and I said, hey, sis. And she goes, what? And I said, September 2nd, and I'm 50. No, I'm sorry. I was 46 first time I called her. I said, it's September 2nd. I'm 46. I made it. She said, I knew you would. And then I did it up until the time I hit 50. I called her last year, and she said, I think we're both in the clear. I said, I think you're right. Thank you, Kyle. For people that can't read it, Kyle said, Beck, true beauty is having a kind heart in a terrible world. You're going to make me cry again, you motherfucker. And then what you just did in front of all of us shows your absolute and immeasurable heart. We love you. Now love yourself, please.
Here, Kyle. I agree. Love yourself,
Love all
please.
you guys. You're all fucking amazing.
This is what church should be, not what church is.
Oh, sing it, sis. You're right.
Like having people to like lean on is what church is about, not about these mega fucking churches.
Yeah.
Andy said.
And being there for each other, and I mean, truly sitting here and supporting Beck when he says that kind of stuff, even though Sadie, I know it hit you really hard, and it just made me cry watching him cry. But
I'm sorry, Sadie.
Look at all. No, don't be sorry. Don't be sorry ever, Beck. That needed to be done. And you're in such a great place with all these great people that are going to support you and love you. And now, we're going to come up underneath you and support you and help you on the path to find love for yourself, which is super important. It really is. Sorry.
So Sandy said, "Hey Beck, what do you say to me when I say I don't deserve anything good? Pretend you're talking to me if you catch yourself playing that old record again, and you will. And I do hear you, and I love you too, Sandy."
Sandy rocks.
Sandy's fucking awesome. Much as she gets mad at these people on YouTube, she still keeps coming back and supporting us. She leaves and she comes back because she loves us. So what's the other thing I was going to say? My brother says, because after I left the therapist's office, I went to see my brother and I said, "Hey, therapist number 2, we got to talk." So I went and told Richard what was going on. And the first thing he said was, the first thing he said was, "How did he say it? I tried that for years." And I said, "It was just a perfect storm, brother. It was just a perfect storm." And the next thing he said was, "Well, we were raised in the Catholic Church." And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "They love guilt. So of course, as soon as something went wrong, you felt guilty." He said, "So you can blame part of that on the Catholic Church for shoving that shit in your fucking ear all your life."
It's because when you stop feeling guilty, you don't need the church anymore. You only need the church to
Straight on,
you're
baby.
going to have. You think you're going to hell.
Well said.
You
Sadie.
don't
Well
feel
said.
that anymore. You don't need that anymore. You just need people. You don't need the bullshit.
Thank you, Mage. I'll keep that in mind. Mage said, "I officially decree you are not allowed to feel bad about yourself." I love you guys. I really do. So, I'm hoping the second half of my life is a lot better.
Oh, it's going to be. It's going to be because you're living your true life now, Beck. I mean, look at you. And you just made peace with a big area of your life. I mean, it's going to be so awesome for you. I'm excited that I can even be a small part of it. It's going to be awesome. Beck.
Why do you think I was so excited? And I was like, "Jenna, I have to tell Oz this now. I have
Yeah.
to."
Oh, no, absolutely.
Why I was so excited. Like, I went to the therapist and I was telling him about it, and I started like crying, and then I started sucking it up, and he goes, "No, man, this is the time. Let it out. It's okay." He said, "I'm right here.
Your kitty.
Let it out." And I just fucking sat. I curled up in a ball on his couch almost and just cried like a baby. Cried for like a good solid, literally 10 minutes. I couldn't stop crying.
I think your kitty's trying to comfort you. We can hear him in the background.
Yeah, I hear him. He's like,
"It's because I'm talking."
sad.
He always thinks that I'm talking to him.
Oh.
He's a little mini narcissist.
Plus, they know when you're sad.
Yes, sir.
Yes, they do.
Come on.
Oh, here it comes.
When I passed out that one time right after I moved here because of the elevation difference, dehydration, I didn't realize. Nobody told me. Hey, Shan. Love you too, sweetheart. So I passed out. And luckily, I fell in the only position where I can lay flat in my tiny house and not hit my head on anything. It was like I just fell right between a side table, a countertop, and a trash can, and just fell right in the middle of it. Pure luck. Woke up, and both the cats are like this, looking at me, like really close to me, going. And I open my eyes and look at them, and they're like, and then he meows at me, and I'm like, "I'm okay." And I got him like this, right? I'm petting him. I'm laying on the floor. And then I go to sit up, and I was like, "Nope, not yet. Nope, not ready for that." Almost passed out again.
They don't want you dead because then they won't be fed.
Oh, they have a whole thing of food, and they could eat me. They'd be fine.
Do you ever wonder if your cats would eat you when you die?
They say cats would, but
yeah, cats will, and they say some dogs if they get hungry enough. So
people pick on cats about it, but look at the Donner Party. They ate each other and they survived. So fuck it. Why are you gonna pick on a cat? Like we had humans eating humans. You're gonna pick on a fucking cat that's just trying to survive.
The rugby team.
My cat is my biggest emotional support.
Exactly, Ox. Men do cry. I'm just one of them that's not afraid to cry in front of the fucking world. Men cry all the time. After my mother died, my brother Richard went home with his wife. And he was in bed. She told me for 2 days. That wasn't true. He was in bed for 10 days. Didn't eat anything. It was everything she could do to get him to drink some water. And he still stayed curled up in a ball and just cried and fucking was miserable. and was hurt really bad. Now looking back, I'm glad she didn't tell me it was 10 days and she only told me 2 days. I would have felt worse. She was trying to keep me from feeling more guilty, which is amazing because she was a selfish fucking conniving bitch. But anyways. My dog would starve, Kyle said, because if I died, I wouldn't be in a bowl.
No, that's the cat. If they can see the bottom of the bowl, even if there's food in the bowl, it is empty.
You know, Air, there has not been a week that has gone by in my entire life until the last, probably 1.5 to 2 years that I didn't cry at least once a week, if not more. And bawl and cry and be mad and I don't know what to do about it. That's been my life. I don't know what to do about it.
I need to start scheduling my therapy appointments for the next day after Deb does her YouTube videos.
You know what? And after you said that to me, I was like, I was so bummed out, but then I thought about it. I went upstairs and cried afterwards too, because I knew that I was taking both of you to a dark place and I felt really bad, but you know, it's so good to get it out there. But the next one's going to be a little bit happier, a little bit different. So hopefully it won't hit so many triggers for so many people.
I was off my game for 24 hours at least after.
Honey, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay. But I appreciate your support so much. I really do.
I walked into the bathroom and I had hives all over my face.
Oh, no. Yeah, I hit one too many triggers there,
Don't worry, Shan. Don't worry, Shan. I finally gave in to antidepressants in 2017. I've been taking Lexapro.
I don't take any.
I take a ton.
Whenever I've been in a good place, I've lowered my dose. And then when shit gets starting bad, I've brought my dose back up. I'm on 20 milligrams now. Maybe here soon I can lower that. I don't know.
I mean, I've been on Prestige for 5 years, and I still cry daily because when I feel bad, I allow myself to do that. It has to happen. Like Shan said, it absolutely has to happen because it just triggers something and releases something in your body.
Yeah, I refuse to take antidepressants because I need to feel my therapy and I can't have that. Yes. I'll use edibles to help me sleep at night, but
yes, it is weird. Also, testosterone will do that to you. So testosterone makes you not cry. And so the fact that I'm sitting here and I'm bawling in front of you guys, you can see how emotional it is for me. Because since I've been on testosterone, I haven't cried a lot, and not for very long.
Having my ovaries removed definitely changed a lot.
Oh, I bet it did. I bet it did.
I was like, wow, this is what it's like to be a man. Because I had no estrogen.
Yeah.
I'm playing with my mood.
I was just complaining about that totally different reason, but okay, TMI, but I entered menopause probably about 6 months ago. And I've noticed I cry still, but not as dramatically, or it's not gut wrenching unless it's something really big with my family. But I noticed that makes a huge difference. The lowering of estrogen just makes a huge difference in the way that you respond to things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Try being 67 with the hormones of a 15-year-old girl. That's a ride.
Yeah,
that must be so
I have
much
a 15-year-old,
fun.
so I know what that's like.
No, and Jenny's right. She's totally honest about it, and I love her for it because sometimes she'll have these emotional spikes that are really crazy, and we're like, "What the fuck?" And then she comes back the next day, and she's like, "I'm fine."
Yeah, one thing I had said
she's done it ever since I met her.
When you were giving your talk, is that it kind of like I said it, but then I was preaching to myself, is that when you have childhood trauma, you don't know how to act like an adult when you're under stress because you are just reverting back to the child and how you handled stress then.
That's one of the problems so they say that whatever age you were when the trauma happened is what you revert back to.
Yeah.
And when I was 18, I was pretty sheltered, so I was more like 15. You know what I'm saying? Emotionally, I was not emotionally as mature as an 18-year-old. So here I am. Keep getting older and older, and I'm stuck at 18.
Yeah.
I'm stuck at fucking 18.
Well, it's better
People are
than
like,
being
what's your
stuck in it like
problem, man? And I'm
7.
like, oh my God, if I gave you my list of problems, you'd probably go slit your wrists. Shut
I
the
was-
fuck up, don't
I was
ask.
4 when I was taken away from my
Yeah.
dad and put into foster care, and I know that's when a lot of my trauma
Yeah.
really hit.
Mine was like at 7, so it's pretty young.
Shan Camp. Zoloft has terrible side effects.
It's horrible.
You can take Lexapro, it does the same shit.
Half the
Or
side effects.
16th of this very, very little side effect with Lexapro. Zoloft is horrible. You'll either go into it too much or not enough. It's pretty much. There's no happy medium with Zoloft. Lexapro
I think that's
is way better. It is also called escitalopram.
Okay.
So
I think that's the same story with Fexer too, right?
ALOPRAM.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
That's the generic. What's that?
I said I just walked all over you. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I pause sometimes. It's my fault.
I was thinking, I was going to say like Effexor is the same way with Zoloft. It has horrible side effects. And that's why I went on Prestige, because it's the least side effects that I've found with an antidepressant. And it's really, it's been Prestige.
Prestige?
Prestige. Mm-hmm. It's
Okay.
P-R-I. Well, don't trust my spelling. You know I can't spell for crap. So it's Prestige, but I've had very little side effects. I've been on it for 5 years, so it really has worked for me.
What's the generic for? Do you know?
Not off the top of my head, but I could find out. And for you, I will go find out. Hold on, I'll be right back.
Thank you.
I can't take benzos because those make me actually have some amnesia. And
that's not surprising. Benzos are.
No, it's horrible. I had amnesia for 3 weeks after I was given it by accident by an anesthesiologist. It was horrible.
Benzos are not cool.
And then I also have like a genetic mutation, so I can't like metabolize some of them.
I'm on
like Lexapro. I can't take Lexapro because it's under that metabolite, that gene.
I've been taking Wellbutrin now for a year and a half, 2, something like that. And
I take Adderall because it helps with my my anxiety and my ADHD. But my anxiety is like is huge.
You know, honestly, Adderall roller coasters me too hard. I have troubles with it.
I can't I have to take it consistently.
I do this all day and it makes me a fucking dickhead.
But I do take the extended release. Yeah.
The best thing for me to do, honestly, is I buy sativa wax and I smoke it a little bit throughout the day, and it keeps me right here where I need to be. Not quite as low as I need to be, but damn near.
Yeah.
And it's just the best thing for me. Like nothing else works the way it does.
Yeah. It helps with my blood pressure too, because I am very hypotensive. So
Air, you and I need to hang out, young man. Me and you need to hang out and have a talk.
Okay, are we at a spot where I can jump in?
Yeah, and Tubian, let me say one last thing and it's all yours. Tubian, yeah, Lexapro is actually an all-around great for a lot of different things. It actually handles like 15 different fucking issues at once. So it's a good all-around medicine for anxiety and depression and just name it. Name it. Anything that an antidepressant can do, Lexapro pretty much does it. So yeah, it's a good all-around low side effect medication. Just go ahead.
Oh, it's called Densflexine. DES flexine. There you go. It's actually
say it again.
It's Densvenlaxine. Yeah. And there's a sulfate on the back of that. So it was given probably when I started on it 5 years ago. It was a fairly new drug for antidepressants, but I also have the lovely combination of PTSD. So that's another reason I was put on that, is because I had to have those both combined together because I was getting depression from like 5,000 different sources. So
you're on that. What else?
Oh, a lot. I'm on stuff for my anxiety. I'm on Atarax for my anxiety because I break out in hives when I get super anxious, and the Atarax helps the hives. And then I'm on.
I take that too.
Do you? And then I'm on trazodone for my sleeping. So those are the three major mental. Trazodone for sleeping, and then I'm also on Prozacin, which helps suppress my PTSD, nightmares, and flashbacks.
Oh,
So
that's
I'm on a lot. Yeah, I'm on a lot of shit. You know, I wasn't kidding when I told you I was effing crazy, man. I wasn't kidding.
You know how I avoid all the nightmares and stuff, don't you? I smoke a lot of fucking pot.
Yeah, and you know what? I've been on that train today. I've been on that train today.
Right through it. I don't even know any dreams. Everybody's like, "What are your dreams like?" My therapist said, "So what are your dreams like?" I'm like, "I don't fucking know. Too high."
Yeah, the
I don't want
the edibles really help me at nighttime.
I wish I could take edibles, but every time I've done it, I've ended up on this like 12-hour trip that is not good. You know, when you feel like you're sinking into the mattress and you're going to die and you end up throwing up. And I wanted to run around naked in the neighborhood. I mean, it was crazy. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but
you should stay away from edibles.
That's exactly what I do.
Or let me move next door and then fucking take them.
Yeah.
Okay, you can move next door. That would be actually really convenient for me right now.
She's running around naked. I could just sit on the porch with a beer, right?
Yeah, I see how you
there
is.
she goes again. Oh, there she goes again.
Yeah.
I bring pot with me.
Well, you know, everything's so legal here in Oregon. It's easy to, smoke it and do whatever. I don't trust edibles anymore. So, like, I have to be super careful if I'm going to try them. They're actually recommended. Edibles are recommended more for, like, what I have going on with my rheumatoid arthritis and fibromyalgia. Yeah. They're recommended more than smoking. And
what did you try though? It matters.
The indica makes me feel weird, or it helps me sleep. Indica helps.
Does it?
Really helps
indica is couch.
Yeah, exactly.
Is I sat on the
couch. Right. Indica. That's what my son says. That's funny. So no, it's the edibles that I tried, the one where I had the really worst reaction was a homemade cookie. And I think I might have taken too much of it.
Don't make homemade cookies.
Yeah. But
go to a dispensary.
I did the next time. It wasn't quite so bad, but that's where I got it. Yeah.
Yeah. See, the problem with people making stuff homemade is that there's no guarantee it's distributed properly throughout the product.
You're correct. You are correct. I will never do it again.
We don't know how they heated it either or cooked it.
Yeah.
If they make the product with pot butter.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you regulate it.
Yes, that's what I have heard.
That's how you do it. You make pot butter. All you have to do is throw a bunch of pot in a crock pot, put it on low, let it sit for about 6 to 8 hours with a bunch of weed in it. Literally, that's all you have to do to make pot butter. And then you strain it out and get all the leaves out. If you're like me, you will push some of the leaves through because I want to make sure I'm getting everything I can out of it because I'm a fucking tight ass. And then you throw out all the stems and the leaves that you don't want and you fucking make whatever you want out of it. That shit will be so strong, you don't need much.
That's what I hear. I just, I haven't been able to get myself enough courage to go buy some more edibles because if I'm going to try them again, somebody has to be with me because if I freak the F out, I want somebody there to say, no, you're not falling through the bed, Deborah. You're not going to be smothered by the bed.
Someone that's not tripping, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Becky, you mind if I
say they want to try some drug for the first time? I always tell them, make sure you have somebody with you who is sober and knows about that drug.
Absolutely.
I treat it like medicine. I actually dose it. There's some people that sit and eat it all day. I take 5 milligrams or 10 milligrams, and I know how much I'm taking.
Well, I smoke it. I smoke it a lot, like just out of a joint, because my father-in-law is 72, and he is like the joint master. So I do that, and I also do vaping. But like recently, my vaping just wasn't doing it for my pain, and my father-in-law rolled me up a nice little joint, and I was like, oh, this is the best. So I'm going to stick with that for right now. Can I address this question? Is that okay, Beck?
It's for you.
Okay. So yes, I do have issues with fatigue. the problem that is with the fatigue, and this is what I found through my research, is that you're in so much pain all the time. Your body is shifting to try to relieve the pain and the swelling of the joints, and it creates fatigue within itself. Yes. And I did ask the doctor about it. I'm like, what the hell am I supposed to do? And they're like, really, there's not a lot you can do. So honestly, I'm going to be totally honest here. I am a caffeine addict because of it. I can sleep 12 hours and wake up fatigued. So I drink Diet Coke and coffee. So, I go get I'm allowed 32 ounces of soda a day. That's it. But that's what gets me through the day. Because once I finish working, I can just go home and I can be fatigued. But it's exhausting. It's absolutely exhausting.
That's what I use Adderall for.
Aren't all these different diseases so weird?
I hate them all.
It's just bizarre to me,
I get blood pooling and stuff in my legs.
Oh, hold on 1 second. So you're over there drinking caffeine so you can stay awake. If I drink that much caffeine, I'd sleep all day.
That's that's right. You have ADHD. That's why.
Yeah. Yeah. All day.
Yeah.
I drink coffee for caffeinated. I don't drink caffeinated coffee anymore. I only drink decaf. But I drink caffeinated coffee for years because I love coffee and it's got caffeine in it. And I'm sitting there driving down the road being a truck driver. Punching myself in the face trying to stay awake and drinking more coffee and going, why am I not more awake? I was putting myself to sleep the whole fucking time.
Yeah.
Go,
so
Jenny, real quick, Sadie. Jenny?
I didn't say nothing. I'm listening.
I know. I was trying to, because you're quieter than everybody else. I want to make sure you hadn't said anything we ran over you. So I was pausing to check on you.
I'm just listening.
Oh, okay. Carry on, Sadie.
Yeah, so what I was saying is, so I get a lot of fatigue too, but I have orthostatic hypotension. So when I take the Adderall, it helps the blood that pools in my legs to circulate my body, and it keeps my blood pressure normal. Yeah. Because when I saw the cardiologist about 5 to 10 years ago, he said, so I grew up in Duluth, Minnesota, which is basically on hills. So my legs were very conditioned, which he said prevented me from going into the POTS symptoms where you have the orthostatic intolerances. So and I've always drank a lot of caffeine since I was younger, and I would just sit and eat the Folgers grounds out of the coffee can when I was 12. And
that's crazy.
So the ADHD meds do help with my circulation, and it keeps my heart rate normal, and it keeps me from not needing to drink 12 shots of espresso a day, because that's what I was doing before. And it helps with the anxiety and
I believe it.
But if I don't take it every day, I notice that I wax and wane. So I can understand if you were not on XRs and you had to take
I had to take the short release because the
short release,
and I was too broke.
Yep.
And right now in the back seat of my truck is a 90-day 60-day supply of fucking Adderall just sitting there. I was debating whether I should sell it or throw it out.
Yeah. The XRs is
not
definitely
taking that shit
huge
anymore.
Change.
Don't take that fucking shitty fucking short lasting. You will roller coaster. I could not. I tried taking it at different times of the day, the next dose, and then I started breaking them in half. And I take a half, and then 2.5 hours later, I take another half, and then 2 hours later, I take another.
Yep.
I've tried everything, and I still roller coastered. And that's one of the reasons I lost my fucking job with my ex.
Yeah, and there's no way I could.
It was making me insane. Plus all the stress and her breaking up with me and everything. I was losing my fucking mind.
Yeah,
I think that's one of the biggest.
In the background, going, I don't deserve this, anyways.
No.
That's always fun.
I think that's one of the biggest problems when we're talking about ADHD and people who give medicine and stuff like that.
We need to pause for the man for 1 second.
Yeah, we do.
I fucking love you, Oz. I fucking love you. I'm fucking proud of you for what you're fucking doing every day. I'm proud of you for being honest last night and crying on stream, because we were just talking about toxic masculinity and it's horrible and every man fucking cries and it's okay. God,
I want to go watch Oz's thing because
you should watch it. It was really fucking good. And the chat was
I'm going to wait
amazing.
till Wednesday before I see my therapist.
The chat.
I'm going on Thursday, so
because I see my therapist on Thursday.
So I can move mine up for.
The stream was on point. The chat was on point. everybody was like being open and honest and telling them everything
That's
about them. It
amazing.
was a really fucking mind-blowing open. It's like back when I first started my mental health streams. It was like that, or like Deb's. Like people were having good conversations, and
I will tell you, Sadie, I'll move it to Wednesday for you, so you can make that Thursday appointment. Okay.
Okay.
as you should, Jenna. You're a lucky lady, and he's a lucky guy. I'm so glad you two are together. Perfect.
Hey, Oz, can you put your link in the chat to your YouTube channel?
John Jur said, I don't know what you all are talking about. Depression and anxiety are the funnest. I love it so much.
Oh God. Oh.
Hey, and Jur. So Deb has a channel. Yeah. Deb, show yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Deb, show yourself.
Show myself what?
Chill. Tell her about it.
I'm sorry. I think I actually connected with her on Discord after we talked last night. I want to start.
Get a hold of each other. Good.
For a little bit. I wanted to start having people come on the show with me. I'm just trying to figure out how to do that through StreamYard. And I think I just want to start because I'm running out of topics. I want to get other people to come in and talk to these topics with me, so like we can get as many point of views to help as many people as possible. So
and Andrew has been run through the ringer, and she's brilliant, and she knows what the fuck she's talking about.
I appreciate you hooking us up. I really do. Thank you.
She is great. You guys, I think you guys would get along fucking perfect. It just like hit me when I saw her in the chat before. I was like, oh my God, you should get a hold of Andrew.
Yeah, I think I did. I hit her up on Discord. Is Jenny trying to say something?
Nope.
I feel like there's some feedback, maybe.
Oh, okay. So kind of what I was saying about the ADD medication, ADHD stuff, is that it's so standard. You take this dose, and that's the thing that people are starting to understand now, that when you're neurodivergent, like everybody in this room is at this point with the anxiety and the depression and stuff like that.
Right.
Things don't get processed the same way, and you absolutely your doctors have to understand that if you have ADHD alone and nothing else, then maybe the standard dose will work. But when you have other things, going on in your life and you're taking other medications, they have to factor that all in, and they don't. And that's kind of one of the things like that pisses me off the most about it. I would love to see them be honest with people, with parents, and say, hey, have you tried giving them a little caffeine in the morning? See if that settles them down a little bit for school. Because I know caffeine is considered a drug also, but it's a better way than putting medicines in your child if you could get away with that, And I just wish that more people would do that. You know what I mean? And more physicians would do that anyway.
So Deb's channel is called Let's Get Real About Mental Health. Mm-hmm. And you stream on what days at what time?
Well, I usually stream on Thursdays around 7, but I'm going to change it to Wednesday because I'm affecting Sadie so much that she has to see a therapist after my show. So I'm going to go to, which is fine. I'll go to Wednesdays at probably 7 o'clock because I get off at 6. So
I might actually tell my therapist to go watch the episode so I don't have to tell her what happened.
Oh my God, Mage. I am so sorry, honey. I can't even imagine. And I would just totally like wrap you in a hug right now if I could. I'm so sorry you had to go through that. I said, sweet. Christians and precepts beware. Because I gave him mod powers. Yeah. Maynard said I was put on Ritalin back in the mid 80s. Hated it. They want me to do that with my child. I'm on the fence.
There's better things than Ritalin.
Yeah, look into the different. They have so many more drugs out there these days. Yeah. Don't just. I
would start with the non-stimulants first, and then go to the stimulants.
If I could, Maynard, with what medical background I have, I would say 100% try other things, anything other than putting your child on medication first, because you might find that the younger they are and you start the medication, when they start to go through puberty and all of that stuff, you're going to start having side effects, or they won't work as well because they're going through puberty and all the body chemistry is changing. If you can take them before they get to puberty and you don't have to medicate them, it's actually better for the child, in my humble opinion. I'm not a physician by any means,
or
but
a psychologist.
Yes, but I'm just telling you what I know from my 25 years as a paramedic and all of that stuff. That's my recommendation. But like Oz is saying, lithium and Adderall saved his life. So it works for people. But I'm not saying don't take it. I'm just saying try all the things you can before you take the medication.
Neil, I'm thinking
Neil.
that might not be the same lithium, buddy.
No, it is the same lithium. They're all it's the element lithium.
I don't think that's the same lithium.
No, it is the same
Thanks
thing.
for stopping by, buddy. So anybody since a bunch of you have come in since the beginning of the show, I would recommend you go back and watch the first 10 minutes so you know where we are. Or at least the first 10 to 15 minutes. If you want to watch it on super speed, you can because I talk slow.
Thank you, Neil.
Really, Neil? It's the same kind of lithium?
It is. What do you think it is?
Yeah,
It's
it actually is. Lithium is lithium. It's just the way that it's processed and used. So lithium's
really?
lithium. Mm-hmm.
People can't. Yeah, people don't understand that.
On my own show.
Like even iron in your cereal is actually metal shavings of iron.
That
that's like people talk about. Well, if you put a magnet in baby food and baby formula, you're gonna get little shaving. Well, how do you think we give them the goddamn fucking nutrients, you dumbass?
That's what happens when they put iron in your body too.
Yeah, Oz said Oz just eats cell phone batteries to keep himself level.
The fact that there's actual ferrous iron in your body is one of the reasons that the magnet freaks say that magnets work every miracle on the planet when you attach them to your wrist or something like that.
I never thought about that, Jen. That makes I'm sorry, Jenny. I never thought about that.
It doesn't make sense because if there's ferrous iron and you put a magnet on yourself, isn't that ferrous iron going to collect in that one spot?
Oh, cripes.
Now
and isn't that kind of like defeating the purpose of it?
It absolutely is. You're right.
It's a bunch of BS. Now, magnets do have some uses. I mean, in like the TMS therapy that they're doing now, transmagnetic stimulation, for psychological issues, depression mostly, that has absolutely been clinically shown to have a difference, and FDA has even gone through it and approved it.
Wow.
But putting a magnet on your wrist isn't.
I was just reading something too. If people are taking melatonin, you should only be doing that for 2 to 4 weeks max at a time, because it can actually mess with your mental health and the chemicals in your brain.
Mm-hmm.
It can mess with your natural melatonin.
Bye, buddy. Love you.
And there's therapists that were talking on Twitter that they've seen kids coming in on these mega doses of melatonin and they're going crazy because it's not safe to be on that much, and you shouldn't be doing it for an extended period of time.
I think that's the thing, is it's an extended period of time. Like, because I don't know about y'all, but if I take melatonin, I have the craziest freaking dreams. Like, and I have a hard time distinguishing them from reality. I've honestly been known, and I'm so embarrassing, but I'll share the story. I called up my ex-husband when he was at work on a paramedic rig, and I'm like, there are aliens breaking into our house. I can hear them. They have ray guns. Get home right now. He's like, what the fuck is wrong with my wife, right? Well, he called me I fell back asleep. He called me 3 hours later. He's like, are you freaking okay? I've been trying to get a hold of you. And I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? What are you talking about? Yeah, and he's told me what I did. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so damn embarrassed. So I can't take melatonin for that reason. But like somebody we all know takes melatonin because it's good for his pancreas. But yet he has to be very careful because he goes over the limit with that, and goes out of pancreas good to, like you said, causing real neurological changes, and it's crazy.
One of the most dangerous things about pharmacological treatment of patients in America is the foolishness of our culture and the mythology of more is better. So people will start to take their medications thinking, well, if I feel bad, if I take 2 instead of 1, it's going to be that much better. No, 2 might kill you. It's ridiculous what people think.
Yeah, it's like the antihistamines too, overdoing that.
The ones at Area 51 are the ones that my brother talks about. Which aliens?
and kids think that if it's a pill, it will get you high.
Yes.
It doesn't matter what. When I was working at the crisis intervention hotline, one of the things we did was pill IDs, we called them, and that's where somebody would call and say, "I have this pill. It looks like this. What is it?" We would reference it in the PDR and figure it out. And then they say, okay, how many do I have to take to get off? Like, and they're slamming down warfarin or something. And say, no, you don't want to touch that.
No, you'll be bleeding out of your to death.
Yes.
Or cardiac medications are actually very common because they would steal them from grandma.
Mm-hmm.
And so we did face a lot of that. And kids are just stupid. They really think that any pill is going to get you off.
Melatonin.
Sandy said, I get very concerned whenever anyone starts talking about this or that works for me, and then everyone else thinks that's what they need to do. Do not follow in your friend's footsteps. Yes.
Amen.
Yes.
You got to your therapist
yes,
and your doctor. Don't just go buying drugs.
For instance, after I got on Lexapro and realized Zoloft was horrible, they put my son on Zoloft. I said, tell him you want to try Lexapro. It works for me. It's probably going to work better for you.
Yep, genetically. Yes.
Well, genetically, yeah. Yeah,
so I know Lexapro doesn't work for me.
In that case, if you want to suggest stuff to your family members or whatever, people that you're related to, people that you're genetically connected to, it probably will be better, especially if it's like your child, because threw that motherfucker into this world, poor guy. But yeah, when it comes to medication in general, talk to your doctor. Talk to your fucking doctor. Because it matters what other medications you're on. It matters if you're taking herbal supplements. It matters if you take melatonin. All of that stuff affects.
We're not giving medical advice here. We're just talking about our own
we are not medical professionals. Even Ben would tell you, I'm not a doctor yet. Check with your doctor. Check with your fucking doctor. Thank you for saying that, Sandy. That's very important. That is very important.
Yeah, because it's easy when you're a parent and you can do with the genetics and everything like that. My my
great
sister
on Lexapro, by the way. He's doing great.
Excellent. My sister is like my genetic copy. I swear, whatever comes up with me, she ends up getting, or vice versa. And so, like when she was started, I encouraged her to do the whole depression, anxiety thing because she was having a hard time. And she's like, when my doctor asked, did you have this reaction or that reaction? Maybe we can, I'm like, here, you know what? I'm going to send you my medical history, honey. Share it with your doctor and see what you can come up with, because we cut out the Zoloft, we cut out the Lexapro, we cut out all that crap. And she went immediately to Lexapro because of my genetic reactions to things. So I think it's important to do that. But Sandy's right. You can't tell your friends, hey, I do this. All you can say is, in my opinion, educate yourself and know your body. You have to know your own body, because that's the only way you are going to be able to tell your doctors, this is what I'm feeling, that's what I'm feeling, and don't ever let a doctor brush you off. If you feel this way, that's the way you feel, and they should be listening to you. And if Ben was here, he would be telling me the same thing.
Yes, absolutely. Always, always, always talk to a doctor before you take anything. I mean, it's one thing like you're in severe pain and somebody's got an oxycodone and you want to take a half of it because you can't fucking take it and you have to get to the emergency room or whatever. Like, that's one thing. I'm not saying it's smart to do it, but if you need a little help, that's one thing. But don't take anybody else's anything. Do not do that ever, ever, ever. And if you want any confirmation on that, talk to Sabrina about it, our ex Sabrina, because that's what she does for a living, and she's done it for many years, and she knows all the fucking drugs, and she will tell you it's stupid. Do not ever do that. Do not ever take anybody else's antidepressants or anything.
No.
Go talk to your doctor if you want them. Go talk to your doctor.
Do you guys remember?
If you need help paying for them, fucking tell me. I'll help you pay for them every month. I don't give a fuck.
Do you guys remember when pill parties were the big thing with teenagers? They take some pills out of the their medicine cabinets, no matter who they were, and they throw them in a big glass or whatever. And you just take the pills randomly.
They can't dish them.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I've never seen so many adverse effects to drugs except for that time. That time was so crazy that people were taking blood pressure medications that they didn't need and didn't understand why they were getting dizzy and passing out and having heart issues. It was a totally crazy time to be a paramedic, because you were getting so many 911 calls for possible overdose because they're taking somebody else's medication. It was crazy.
That's precisely what we were dealing with.
Shan, do you mean quercetin with a Q?
Whoa, Sadie, wait.
Oh,
Jenny was talking.
right.
She's kind of quiet. If you can't hear her, turn off your head.
I'm done.
Go ahead, Jenny. Well, I didn't hear the last thing you said.
What I said.
I'm gonna kick your ass. Let me turn you up so we can hear you when you start talking.
We can't hear Deb.
Because I couldn't fucking hear you. There you go. We'll try there. Yes, I heard you say, oh. That sounds better. You were really quiet. Anyways, Paul, everybody. Oh, real quick, I did put the link up above if anybody wants to come in and talk. We're not necessarily talking just about mental health. It's just where we went. So if you want to join, you can join. If you want to hang out and wait till the subject changes, you can do that, and I'll put the link back in. But yeah, if anybody wants to join, it is above you. Paul or Air or whoever wants to come in. I don't care. I love all you guys. You're all welcome. Good night, Sandy. We love you.
Night, Sandy.
Thank you for all your support. I really, truly mean it. I'm not trying to sound like Bartles and James, but I do appreciate your support. Come on in, Mage. If the link's too far up, let me know. I'll throw it back in for you. No big deal. Oh, what a fucking emotionally exhausting last 24 hours I've been having. It's a lot to process, man. It's a lot.
I can't, like I said, I can't even imagine what you're going through, but I'm so happy for you that you've come to a point where you can start to pull it together and recover from that, because you have to recover from your trauma response. You have to learn that it wasn't your fault. So you're not, to use your words, you're not a piece of shit. You deserve to be loved. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to have all these great friends that you already have.
Thank you.
Anytime,
wrapping up,
sir.
we just got started.
Yeah, no, we're not wrapping up, Mac. We've only been going for an hour. Are you kidding? We got like 2 or 3 more. We got like 2 more to go. Are you kidding? No, right. I do have to get up at a little bit before 6 in the morning, like an hour earlier, but it's early yet. I'm good.
I need to start getting myself on a better wake up schedule too.
Well, we're just driving. We're driving to St. Louis tomorrow. Or no, I'm sorry. We're driving to Tucson tomorrow and crashing. And then we're driving to might be St. Louis or something, whatever's 8 hours away from that, towards Chicago. We're crashing there, and then we're going into Chicago on Thursday. So we're just driving for the next 2 days. So it'll be. And he usually likes to drive out of the parking lot, so I let him because I'm like, I don't fucking care. Go ahead, drive, buddy. I'll just fucking chill on my phone.
I don't know how you do that. I'd be like 4 hours getting out of a car. I'd be sounding like a snap, crackle, pop, and an old lady go, "Dear God, my back." I don't know how you freaking do 8 hours of driving.
Good news. Well, but we don't just drive 8 hours straight, though. We got to stop and get fuel. We stop for, we'll stop like twice, 1 to 2 times in an 8-hour trip. And typically 1, but sometimes 2, depending on how much fuel we use.
I love
because
Chicago too.
We drive a box truck, so it's only got a 75-gallon tank, and tractor trailers have 200 gallons. So they can go 600 miles before needing to fill up, which is an entire day of driving.
Oh, that makes a big difference. I didn't realize that.
Yeah. And then the box truck, you can't do that. You have to fill up more often. We only have literally a third as much fuel tanks. So, yeah. I love it. Like we're going to drive for 2 days straight and each make $225 a day.
That's really good.
For driving, and then she puts us in a hotel. Yeah. Yeah. So I did some math today, and I figured out that the money I made when I was at CVS 2 years ago, and I first got here and everything, I make double that. I make almost 3 times as much as that now.
Oh shit, that's nice.
Because they paid me so horrible.
Yeah. Well,
is that a Cosmic Kyle?
That is.
Like
how's
it
it going?
Hi, Kyle.
Hi, Kyle.
That is the Kyle. Mac, what state are you in? You guys should all tell me what state you're in, so if I drive through it, I can fucking get a hold of you guys if I drive by you.
Indiana.
Oregon.
Oh, that's right, Kyle. You're in Indiana. What part?
Just about 15 minutes south of Indianapolis.
No shit.
Yep.
I think I'm going to be driving right by you twice.
Oh no way.
I think at least once. Because on the way back, we have to go right through Columbus. And then we're picking up a piece in New Jersey, and we're delivering it in Jeffersonville, Indiana.
I don't know where that is exactly.
But we're driving right by Indianapolis, basically, to come back. We'll be coming over on the 70.
Wow. I mean, if you get a chance to say hi.
Okay, I will.
That'd be great.
Even if it's just a 30-minute break piss stop. Because you drive 8 hours, you have to take a 30-minute break at some point.
Oh, you're always welcome here, man.
Sweet, man. I'll let you know if I end up going by you.
Cool.
Definitely. Yeah, but I should be going by you on next Tuesday or Wednesday. Tuesday.
Oh, no shit.
I think next Tuesday I'll be driving right by you, yeah. So I'll let you know.
I am literally 15 minutes from the city, so.
That's great, man. Yeah, I think we're coming right, because I think we're shooting right across, we had a stop in Columbus, and then that stop in Jeffersonville, and then we're driving right across 70 till we get to the 44 and then down to the 40. So that's the path we take. When we come up, we go up to Chicago and then go over to New York, but when we come back down, we jump down and go through Columbus.
Gotcha.
Because it's shorter, yeah. So, yeah. All right. We got 6 of you up here now, damn it. I got all kinds of you trapped.
Hey.
You're so popular. We all want to come talk to you.
I don't even know why.
No, not really.
The cord to my headset got
It's Jenny. I know. I'm sorry, Mage. What?
The cord in my headset got tied in knots.
That's why I have these amazing, lightweight, easy to wear, don't hurt your ears, Aftershocks, bone conducting headphones.
All right, no need to show off, mister.
And no, I can't hear you right now.
I know. I'm aware.
I
said you don't need to show off.
I knew somebody was talking.
Everybody thinks this bone conducting is a new technology.
No,
and
it's not, but it's
great.
great.
Back in the early 70s, there was a guy who made this thing that fit around your neck, was about an inch thick and about, I'd say 2.5 inches wide and long enough to go around your neck and come back down to midway between your head and your tits. And it was bone conducting then. And people thought it was kind of cool, and it went nowhere. It just
Yeah, then they found a way to use the technology better and make it smaller, and now we can do amazing things with it. That's the thing, is that it was just it required so much to make it work back then, and now we can make it that big. That's the difference. Ox, don't you dare encourage Kyle to stand on the overpass and throw eggs as I drive under you. Shut up.
Oh, it's on. It's on.
Well, my boss would kill you, bro. I would give you her address, because I'm not taking that. She is 77 and she is full of spit and vinegar, and that woman is in charge. Her boyfriend works with her. You know what her boyfriend says all day? Yes, ma'am. Do it right now. Yeah, he does.
You know how expensive food is right now? I'm not wasting eggs.
They've been together like 12, 13 years now. He's quit smoking pot because she said, "You smell like marijuana." He goes, No, honey. You said it wrong. It's el marijuana. And she said, "Pick me or it." He hasn't smoked in 12 years.
Damn.
He fucking quit. He's in love with that woman. Yeah, right? OA, smart man. That's right. Shut the fuck up and say yes, ma'am, when they're mad. That's right.
Well, when you got a good woman, you should just shut the fuck up and let her say her thing, because
I do. Hell yeah.
No, that's 100% true. I've been in a solid relationship for 7 years. We don't argue because I just shut the fuck up.
And you listen.
I do.
It's the same in this household.
Talk about it, and everything's fine, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Next week we're celebrating our
communication.
Exactly. Next week we're celebrating our 21st wedding anniversary, and it's all because of the communication. Oh, thank you, sir. Because he knows I'm right and he's wrong. No, I'm just kidding with you guys.
We're all wrong. We're guys. We know we're wrong. It's okay.
It's okay. The best thing to do is just shut up and let her have her tirade, my tirade or whatever, and then you come back and you're like, "Baby, can we talk now?" And then it works out so much better.
Now you know why lesbian relationships are so difficult.
Well, when all else fails,
Oh, good point, Jenny. Good point.
When all else fails,
That's why
retreat to
Sadie
a
keeps
safe
talking
distance
over you, Jenny.
and throw chocolate at her.
I'm sorry, Mage. I had to say it real quick. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, when all else fails, just retreat to a safe distance and throw chocolate at her.
There you go. Yes.
Oh, sir, you must be successfully married then, because that is the best philosophy I've ever heard.
I'm going to turn you up just a little bit, Mage. You're a little low. Yeah, Mage said, go to a safe distance and throw chocolate at her. That's what he said.
You know, my dad told.
Anytime I go into a convenience store, I always leave with a snack for her, whether or not she asks, because I just know that's extra brownie points for me. So
You're such a good guy, Kyle. That's awesome.
I love you, Kyle.
She thinks so.
No,
so.
Dave. No,
Dave.
Dave.
This is a pun-free panel. You'll have to stop that.
You know how they say when you grow up,
Jenny and I never do that.
When you grow up, you like if you're a woman, you grow up and you become your mom, or if you grow up and you become your dad. Well, I grew up and became my dad, so I think that's where I'm confused. I didn't grow up and become my mom.
Oh God,
no.
Yeah, no, like I'm more like my dad than anything. But then I remember my dad or my stepmom told me that when my dad got married to her, that she was arguing with me, and I was like 5, and he said, "Stop arguing with her because you'll never win."
Right? Yeah, no, it's true.
It's like he knew that. He's like, she's a hergert. You'll never win.
Oh God, Sadie, you just like totally scared me because you said like girls grow up to be their mom. My mom is a neurotic, crazy person. I don't want to grow up to be her. That would scare me so much. She's just out of control. But
let's remind you that you are in therapy.
Thank God, right?
I'm in therapy too.
Everybody should be in therapy.
I see mine tomorrow.
Everybody should have everybody that is here, everybody that I know on you, everybody should have a goddamn therapist, because the bottom line is we live in a fucked up world. We all need one.
Yes,
bottom
sir.
line. I don't give a shit what is in your pants or how you identify. We all need a goddamn therapist.
I have 3, so if anybody needs a spare one, I'll share.
Mine is amazing. I wish the people with bad mental health that I know that like really struggle, like Kyle and Aaron guys, I wish I could give you my psychotherapist. He is fucking incredible. He is my 4th one. He's my 4th therapist I've ever tried. And I'm telling you, the other ones were idiots and they had no fucking clue what they were doing. 3 of them.
Dude,
3 of them. And I went from somebody with 40 years experience down to somebody with 20 years experience down to somebody who was brand new, and none of them helped me. And I found this motherfucker. He's an ex-Marine. He went through Vietnam. He watched a lot of people die, including people in his unit. He almost died a couple times. Like a shell went off where he was standing and he had walked away. And he was brushing his teeth. Mm-hmm. And if he hadn't stopped to brush his teeth, he would have been on time for formation and he wouldn't got hit. But he was like, nope, I'm going to brush my teeth even if I'm 2 minutes late. Fuck it. So he's standing there brushing his teeth. And he walks over here away from where he was at the sink. And he had a desk right there. And the shell hit his desk. And he got thrown. And he stood up freaking out. And he said, you know what I was doing? I said, what? He goes, this. He kept brushing his teeth because he didn't even. It was so unexpected. It was so unexpected. He almost died. Like a couple of times. Anyways. He's also was a therapist in a prison. So he's pretty much seen and heard it all in the last 32 years, 30 years he's been doing this. He knows what the fuck he's talking about. And he is amazing. And I swear to God, I wish I could spread him out. I wish he didn't only work 4 days a week. I wish I could give him to more people. He's fucking amazing. I mean, he's 78, so he's heading towards retirement, but hopefully he'll fix my brain first. This is how amazing he is, right? I went to him and Heather had just broke up with me. I just lost my job. All that shit was going on, right? And I go to him and I'm like, fuck, Mike. I said, I'm going to run out insurance in the next 2 weeks. So put me down for like 2 or 3 days each week. We'll just blast the shit out of the insurance before I lose it. And he's like, okay. And he's like, well, what do you mean? He said, what's going on? So I told him, and he was like, okay. And I said, and I started crying. I said, I finally found you, and now I can't see you anymore because I can't afford to pay it out of pocket. And he goes, whoa. Do you think I'm going to abandon you? And I said, well, and he goes, Beck, I'm not going to abandon you. I'll still see you. I'll see you for free. And I started crying.
Damn.
And I said, because he's the first person in a long time that said, I'm not going to abandon you. I have abandonment issues.
I know what that's like.
From my mom, my sister leaving the house, my mom dying, everything went to hell at once. Yeah. So,
I mean, I have a little bit of experience with that. Like my real dad left when I was born. He came back when I was 14 years old for one day. He took us all out to eat. He said that I could be in contact with him, and then he changed his number. Yeah.
Lying fucking bastards, man. I hate people like that. Just fucking with kids' heads. Don't even give a shit.
Yeah, seriously.
I mean, if the best thing he could have done is never come back.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying that.
Give you hope. Yeah.
He came back. He made it seem like he wanted to have a real relationship with his son. And he said we were going to go fishing next week. I give him a call. This number has been changed. I'm like, oh, wow. That seals the deal on that one. I'm never.
How appropriate, Pops.
Yeah, real trust issues since then.
Yeah, you think? No doubt, man.
I can't imagine why, Kyle. Can't imagine why you would have trust issues after all that.
Yeah.
Talk amongst yourselves.
It's getting better. I mean, like, this community is, if you'll excuse the expression, a blessing to me. Without
it can be a blessing and not be religious. It's a non-religious blessing to me.
Secular blessings.
There you go. No, I feel the same way, Kyle. This community has been a complete blessing in my life. It really has.
Yeah, I look forward to every single one of these streams each week. It's like the little island of peace for me.
Aw, thanks, buddy.
Of course. Thank you.
No,
I still need to find a counselor myself.
Yeah, every counselor I've had has been religious and tells me that my problems are stemming from spirituality.
Oh, fuck that.
Finding one that I can afford that doesn't start with Jewish or Christian in the name is a little hard.
Have you looked like to the online therapy groups?
A little bit. I haven't looked into it too much yet, though.
I would recommend you take a good look at it because it does offer a whole lot of variety, and that's actually where I found the therapist that I now can see in person. Because during the pandemic we couldn't do that, but and I just love her. So maybe that would help. Yeah,
this area is a little bit thin on counselors.
Everywhere is thin on psych treatment. The whole nation has a shortage. Everybody is waiting weeks and weeks for appointments and just plain not finding somebody in some cases.
I've got a kid that struggled with mental health I say kid, but he's like 19, for 4, 5, 6 years now. And I know here in southeastern Michigan that the mental health care services are dog shit. Just total trash. And then it got real quiet and I felt uncomfortable.
Oh, I said something.
Oh, no.
I was muted. Yeah, I have to go through St. Francis healthcare, so it's all Catholics that I get.
Oh. And they're so good with their guilt, they're not going to help you move forward with anything going on in your life,
I had one straight up tell me you will never get better. Don't get me started with
those fucking Catholics, Deb.
I literally had one tell me that you will never get better unless you accept spirituality as truth.
Oh, hell no.
That's what I've been told. I was told my whole life. And I feel like a...
Yeah, my shrink told me I'm never going to get better, but that's only because I'm absolutely insane.
Well, that's why you fit in so well here, Jenny. We're all fucking nuts. We're all squirrels. As I call it, we're all screwing squirrel food here.
We're all a little crazy here.
You know, Kyle, I had when I first came out to my family that I was having these mental health issues. I think I was 17 at the time, and I had to go to a doctor myself because my parents didn't believe in mental health issues.
What?
Yeah, no, believe me, it's a whole thing with my family.
I'm so sorry.
They sent me to, my father sent me to a church person and to help me talk about my mental health issues. The only thing that it gave me a big pain in my head, and it gave me like 70 hours of praying to accept the Holy Spirit to guide my mental health to a better place. You know, it has nothing.
How'd that work for you?
Not well at all, man. Not well at all. Obviously, I'm still fucking crazy to this day, so it didn't work out. But you have to be, I can understand what you're saying. You have to be so careful with them when they have that agenda. You just really do.
Absolutely.
Yep. Facts. Absolute facts. Okay, now that I got my thing fixed.
There's a clinical trial I just saw in this website, and they pay you $2,500 to get inoculated with norovirus. And you have to stay there for 6 days.
I'll pass.
I'm immune to it, so it might be kind of fun because nothing would happen.
Ooh, free money.
Oh, well then if I was you, I'd go do it, yeah. Free
Yeah,
money, yeah.
for sure.
I don't need to tell them I'm genetically immune.
Nope.
Unless they
That's what
ask,
they're
then you
supposed
have
to.
be honest.
That's what they're probably trying to figure out.
We're all mad here.
Yeah,
That's true.
I'll take $2,500 and stay in your hotel for 6 nights.
I have a Twitter goal to get soft banned like you did, Paul. You guys are ridiculous. You guys are ridiculous.
Well, I commented on something. I don't even remember what it.
Well, he said he called somebody a cunt 10 minutes earlier. What do you think got him kicked?
I think I had commented on one of Creaky's posts, and I said, "I'm an asshole. Take that as you will." And then Eric posted. He said, "You are an asshole," and then immediately posted. He's like, "I just got banned for calling you an asshole." I was like, "Oh shit!"
Or it was the cunt from 10 minutes earlier.
Yeah.
You see how he ditched that on you, and then he came around and said, "Well, it could have been."
I'm cool with it. You know.
I like Air. Air's a good dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody calls Republicans the C word. See, I have trouble with that because I hang out with so many fucking UK people. I just say it now. Yeah. And I said it in front of my ex before we split, and she's like, "I told you I don't like that word." Like, she got mad at me and actually like kind of chewed me out. She didn't yell at me because she doesn't yell, but she chewed me out, and I was like, "It's the UK people. I'm sorry. It's not an excuse." I was like, and then I was single 2 weeks later. I blame Math Pig. God damn it.
Well, my 23-year-old son uses that word like it's no big deal, right? He's like, you know, he's an F and C word, and I'm like, son, I hate that word. Don't use it in my damn house. You can go outside my house and use the C word, but don't use it in my house, and never use it when you're referring me, because I'll whoop your ass. I don't care if you're 27, I'll whoop your ass. And he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, Mom." But that's like every other fucking word coming out of his mouth. Here I am cussing. That's horrible, but I guess it's the younger generation.
Guys that use that word all the time.
All the time.
They don't fucking have no respect for women.
Did you say 27?
My son?
Yeah.
No, 23. He'll be 23 this month. Yeah.
I was gonna say.
Oh no, honey.
I just turned 27.
I'm old enough to be your mama because I have a 32-year-old. So
I am used to being the young one here.
Sorry, Ben's not here to save you, Kyle. I apologize.
Oh, I'm younger than Ben.
But only by a few months, right?
I'm old enough to be your mother, too.
I think.
Wait a minute. Did you turn 27 this year, or are you about to turn 28?
I just turned 27.
Oh, he's a year older than you then. Okay. He's going to turn 28 this year. Yeah.
If I was a 17-year-old mother, I could have been your mom. He's going to be like
28 and change and be a fucking DO. Fuck him.
I'm so proud of that little bastard. I was just going to say the same thing. I'm so proud of him because he got his he knows exactly what he wants in his life, and I'm so excited to be like part of that process, even though I'm new to the group, because he's so amazing. He just is, and he makes no excuses. He's like, this is who I am, and this is how I'm going to be, and I freaking love that. Love that about Ben.
See, let me tell you the error of your ways. So the error you made here was you don't see it as being disrespectful to women, but women see it as being disrespectful. So if you want to call a man that, go for it. I would never call a woman that unless you want the wrath of hell brought down on you.
See, that's why I just split the difference and just say asshole, because, we both have those bits.
I just call everybody bitch, dick, or asshole. Everybody. I don't give a fuck who you are. If you're male, I'll call you a bitch. If you're being a bitch, I'll call you a bitch. If you need a tampon, I'll hand you a fucking tampon. I don't give a shit.
So this gets us into the conversation where like we're giving words power, because the word cunt has no power unless we give it to them. We as women find it offensive. Well, why do we find it offensive? So, I personally look at it. I don't like that word, and there's a good reason for it. Abusive situation, it really kind of triggers shit with me. But you are giving word power. We as humans are giving words power, because they don't have any power until we give it to them. And
true of any word.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. And that sometimes it just amazes me that how you can take a word and give it so much power that it creates complete hatred between races. And yet, if you cook back the power of the word, it wouldn't mean anything, because the real meaning of certain words are unbelievably simple. And that's something that just drives me crazy about our culture.
But it's the intent, though.
Kind of like
Agreed. It is the intent.
Kind of like the pile of sticks.
You're talking to me?
Yeah.
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 Does everybody know the real word for a pile of sticks?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's
a pile of sticks.
Yes, exactly. It is.
The N-word has something to do with that too. I remember I was camping with my dad when I was really young, and we had a fire, and he was pushing a log into another log to peak the fire back up, and that's called N-wording the fucking fire. And I was like, whoa, because he said it, and my dad's
like,
not
what?
racist. Yeah, my pop's not racist at all, but he said that, and because he was like an Eagle Scout and shit, back in the 50s or 60s or whatever. And I'm like, dude, you can't say that. He's like, I know what it means. I'm just telling you that's what it was called, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, that's crazy.
Oh, no, absolutely. And that's like, I'm sorry, Minch, go ahead.
My uncle, he was actually using that word in the more, definitional term, not in the slur term, for his dog. Because the dog was, had a black coat. It was a black lab.
Mm.
The dog got away from him, and started running in past a bunch of black people, and he's running after it, yelling, and here, and. So you imagine how awkward of a situation that must have been.
I've got a slightly less racist story that's similar to that. I was friends with my friend's family had a little Yorkshire Terrier. They had 3 of them, but there was the son was named Bear, and we used to go camping with them up in the UP. So we drive all the way up to the UP. They let the dogs out of the truck, and Bear takes off into the woods. Now this is a rustic campsite, and there's other people already camping. So Marvin, the dad, goes into the woods and he's screaming, "Bear! Bear!" And the people are just fucking panicking. And then all of a sudden this little fucking Yorkie comes running out of the goddamn woods. We're like, oh, you're a dick.
That is fucking fantastic, man. That is great.
That was, yeah.
Very
embarrassed. Marvin didn't give a fuck, but...
At one point in my children's lives, I know that I looked up the word. Well, I didn't. My husband looked up the word. And it made the reference, we're talking about the N-word, made reference to being stupid. I don't think the intent of the word doesn't have anything to do with race, but it's so, again, that's a major thing that goes back hundreds of years that I can't fix, but it just amazes me how much power we can give words. I love you. I love you has power because we put the emotion behind it, and it just amazes me that people don't realize that. I'm sorry, I was reading
Yeah, I know. I call people I don't like Mondays because nobody likes a Monday. Why are you going, Dr. Cross? See ya. Bye.
I mean, Mondays are cool because we got Beck's stream. So
No. We weren't saying that it's not racist, Dr. Cross. We were talking about the fact that the original meanings of words were just words, and then we gave them power and used them to hurt people is what the topic was.
I don't think the ideology of the N-word has anything to do other than with race, ever. It was invented.
Well, it does, and actually, I looked up the original term, and the original term says a member of a dark-skinned group of people originally native to Africa south of the Sahara. Only that one little piece of Africa.
How is that not about race?
Okay, so I stand corrected.
Totally
no, I completely stand corrected.
I started it out with faggot, though.
No, Jenny,
I was just saying that some of those words that turned into racist slurs, because I started out with faggot.
I've been very uncomfortable with this entire line of discussion. What a bunch of white people
some of those words actually had different definitions, real definitions in real life, and then they were used as slurs.
Excuse me.
And yes,
I'm very uncomfortable with a bunch of white people sitting around discussing whether or not the N-word is
I
good or
wasn't
bad.
talking about that word anyways. So
well, that's what the panel got onto.
I never said it was not a bad word ever. I just pointed out that it was used for other things, and when my non-racist dad said it, it threw me, and I told him he couldn't say it. I'm definitely not. If I made you feel that way, I apologize sincerely.
No, me too, because I was just pointing out again that it had a previous. People took that and
it was turned into a word of hatred. Yes,
and it is, and I agree with you guys. I agree with everybody saying that the N-word is a horrible word to use, and I would never use it.
Yes,
but we're just talking about the original meaning of words. That's all. I didn't mean to offend anyone, and I apologize if I did.
We know that. Trust me, I know. I wake up a lot in the morning and wish I wasn't white because I'm connected to the motherfuckers that act like that. Trust me, I don't forget about it any day of my life. I constantly think about how much those fucking white bastards before me make me look like an asshole. Trust me, I think about it all the time. The only thing I could say is that none of my family had anything to do with that other than fighting in the Civil War for the right side. Because they all came over
in the North at the time.
They all came over in the late 1800s. They were poor. None of them had any slaves. So the only solace I have is that my family never owned slaves and we never treated anybody horrible, and my family fought for the North to stop slavery. So that makes me feel better for being a white person in general, but it still I cannot fix what other people fucking think. And it pisses me off that they make all of us look like assholes. Those of us who are not like that. Pisses me the fuck off. Because they also make men look like rapists. And misogynists. And so if you're a white man, you're a piece of shit. Because that's what they did with our history. They fucked up everything. And we're sitting over later on. Yeah, I know you are.
I think the thing
Korean,
is
right?
like...
No.
I'm Asian, but it's mixed.
I think the whole point of what I was trying to say is like things can be misperceived, and the N-word is not the word I'm putting on the table right now, because there's no misperceiving it in this culture today. But like I was talking to a friend of mine from the UK, and I said it out loud because they were going off. I go, "Are you going to go blow a fag?" And people got completely offended by what I said. And I said, no, he's going outside to smoke a cigarette. That's the way he said, that's how he taught me to say that. And so...
Yeah, because he's probably from the UK or something,
he is,
right?
Exactly, he is. And that was no point of it.
Cigarettes are fags. Mm-hmm. And yes, absolutely. And a faggot originally was, and I know this because some kid at school said it, and my brother repeated it at home, and he had to write it down 100 times, the actual definition for it. And so that's how I know the definition for it for sure, because my mom made me write it a couple times, so I never did it too. I only had to write it 10 times. So
there are certain words we just need to completely expunge from human language.
I agree.
Ding 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 ding.
Oh my God, you're so
I'd rather expunge the power behind it and why we have problems with those words.
Well, you know what I say, Mage? The only way we're ever going to stop it is if everybody that's white goes out and fucks everybody that's black, and we're all just the same fucking color. It's never going to end. It's never going to end until that happens. These people are too ignorant. They're too guided by fucking ignorant leaders. It's never going to end. Black people are going to be tortured to the end of time unless we fucking all get everybody mixed and everybody's the same fucking color. Then we'll just be prejudiced against somebody from where they are.
There's always going to be something we're prejudiced
There's always going to be a form of that. But
oh yeah, it'll be eye color next. Oh, you're a blue-eyed. You're fucked up.
But I totally agree. The N-word is absolutely a word that needs to be abolished. It is a horrible.
I absolutely agree.
Yeah.
The N-word?
Despise that word.
The N-word is used in their own culture.
I don't even like black
totally
people saying it to each other.
Oh, well, no, for them. But
I don't either. But like I learned that it's not my. It's like us reclaiming the word queer. We reclaimed that. They are reclaiming that. It's okay for them to use it, but it's not okay for us to use it.
No, I agree 100%. I absolutely agree 100%.
Some of us don't like to use that word.
Yeah, we shouldn't be using it. It's not for us to use. It's for them to use, but it's not for us to use.
I'm old enough that I remember when queer was used not so much as a derogatory, but more of a non-complimentary name for homosexuals. And then I was living through the time where it became the derogatory, angry, hate-filled word that it became and lived as through the late 70s and 80s and 90s. And now they're beginning to take it back. Well, an awful lot of chunk of my life where that word was just a horrible thing, and I have a lot of trouble using it or having it used on me.
Yeah.
Sorry. Gangbangs for peace.
When I was trying to,
I'm talking about my feelings, not what you should or shouldn't do.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. No, thank you for that, Jenny. Mm-hmm. No, I was in no way trying to sit up here and act like I know shit. I don't know what they go through. I don't think I could fucking deal with it. I'd probably fucking blow my head off. I don't know how they do.
And I think, queer helped me define who I was because I knew that like I was not straight, but I didn't know where I was. So I think of queer as more like a spectrum, or I don't know.
Well, that's one of the interesting things that we all in the community say we want to take back this word, but I haven't found anybody who can define it. Its usage. Nobody. People just use it for however they think they should use it at the time. There's no formality or mutual understanding between people what it means or.
Has anyone ever heard of the blue eye brown eye exercise?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I have not.
No.
Sure,
that's interesting.
I don't think I have. What is it?
It was a teacher who used the exercise in her class of treating people
Sister Mary.
inferior or superior based on their eye color, and then next day they switched it or something along those lines. It was Jane Elliott.
So what exactly happened, Jenny? Do you have more information than that so I understand?
About what?
What Mage was talking about.
What was the thing about?
They switched it the next day? What do you mean? So like they said that people with brown eyes were dominant and people with
and then the next day they said that the blue eyes were actually dominant, and it would show how inequality can affect people.
Oh, interesting.
I looked up the
term.
Yes, they are.
So it's like show favorability to people with blue eyes during when they're treating the blue-eyed people with as superiors, and then separate the classroom between blue and black or blue and brown eye people.
Yeah,
it's really interesting.
It's a whole exercise in trying to show people what it's like to be discriminated against.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's specifically designed for children.
Yeah,
people who are like 10 to 14.
Good.
But I think
it should be applied every classroom every week.
It should be applied to. I think it could be applied to even older than that. Really.
Oh, everybody should have that experience. Yes, but that's what's generally done and where it's used. Yeah. Until of course the Republicans get rid of CRT, then they'll make sure that one goes too.
Yes, that's pretty much what I predicted. Ox, that's pretty much what I predicted. Brazilian type skin tone, hair and eyes, yes. Because they're kind of in between. Yeah. I actually have quite a good handful of people that I know, some of them close friends, some of them distant acquaintances, that are in a mixed couple relationship. And I'm going to tell you, they have the most beautiful fucking kids.
Oh, yes,
my
they do.
God. And one couple I know, I mean, I'm serious. I'm not picking on the guy because he's nice as hell. That motherfucker's ugly as sin. And his kids are fucking beautiful. And he's a white dude. And his black wife and him had kids. And they look they look like they're kind of Puerto Rican, actually.
They look like they're kind of like a mocha color.
They look Puerto Rican. Mm-hmm. That color, that skin color with the dark hair and the brown eyes. But they have Puerto Rican skin color. And if you would never know, like literally, he said at first people gave him weird looks when he was out with them. Like, what are you doing with somebody else's kids? Because he's a blonde-haired fucking from Rome, fucking Italian, from northern Italy. His whole family they're all blonde hair, blue eyes. And his kids are fucking beautiful. And my friend Monique, her kids, well, she's gorgeous anyway. So it doesn't matter that
I looked it up.
Husband's ugly.
I looked it up and queer is an umbrella term used to denote sexual identity or so like somebody who's non-straight and non-cis. That's what it is. Like an umbrella.
Yeah, it does not.
Like I said, you could replace all of LGBT with Q.
Yeah, it's like the umbrella term for everybody.
I just say everybody under the umbrella because they just added more letters. I can't even keep up with it. So.
Like at school, I say, don't mess with my queer kids, like because those are my babies. Don't mess with them.
That's right.
Just wondering, what's the 2 in the LGBT thing stand for?
The 2S is fuck. I just read it today somewhere. What's the 2S?
Is it two-spirited?
Two-spirited. Thank you.
Which is a Native American thing, I believe.
Yes, they added that in. Mm-hmm. Yes.
I can't keep up.
And that just happened in the last few days, I believe. I just found out about it, I think, today or yesterday, one of the two.
You know, I'd like to actually find a recording of a CRT course just so I could see what it's actually like for myself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There is no CRT course
or a lecture or whatever.
CRT is an influence that is used in various subjects that have to do with governmental structures and and educational structures and commercial structures and family structures, and how we unconsciously design them in a prejudicial manner. It's not one particular class. It's an influence over many topics.
Yeah. The point is to use that while teaching children. So by the time they get out of school, it's not like a 1-month deal. It's like an overtime, they learn it thing. You know what I'm saying? That's what Jenny's saying. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Two-spirited. Thanks guys. I appreciate it. I almost had it. Like it was right there. So like I said, the umbrella is fine with me. We're all under the umbrella, so it's fine. Mm-hmm. See, it kind of feels weird to me though, because I'm finally who I've always been. So I don't feel like, I mean, I kind of feel like I shouldn't be under the umbrella. Because I'm finally me. I don't see myself as trans. I just see myself as me.
Well, I never actually thought about that. That's interesting. Gives me a lot to think about. But I will say you're rocking you really well, just so you know.
Mm-hmm. Thanks.
Hell yeah.
Appreciate that.
Well, I think people sometimes get non-binary confused too. They like you're either a homosexual or like straight or cis or trans, or you're in the middle, and it's in the middle where it's confusing.
I feel like the in the middle people either found their niche or are still trying to search for it. One of the two.
Or you're just
like you were saying, you were saying, like I don't know where I fit yet. Yeah, you'll figure it out.
I never fit in. Like,
how old are you?
45.
45.
Yeah.
Okay. You look like you're 32. So fuck you for having great genes.
Thanks.
Anyways,
it's the Asian genes.
The point is you'll figure it out. I mean, look at me. I couldn't even admit I was trans till I was 50. I mean, like, what the fuck? You'll figure it out.
I didn't admit I was a lesbian until I was in my 40s. How am I supposed to
And then I did that. Oh, I'm too old. It doesn't matter. Who cares? And then Purple started HRT, and I thought, what the fuck am I doing? Or Purple started talking about it.
And
Purple
I
came out
just
as being trans, and they're 8 years older than me. So I was like, I think 7 or 8.
I just know I'm way more complex.
So I was like,
than
why
one
am I not
term.
doing this? Why am I not doing this?
I mean, I just realized I'm
fucking-
pansexual last month, so
Yeah, I don't know if I am or not. I don't know if I'm growing in sexuality or it's the testosterone phenomenon. That makes you want to fuck everybody. Testosterone just makes you want to fuck everybody. It really
Well,
does.
if I could pick, I'd choose Pan.
I think you have to, because how can you cut off? I mean, for me personally, I would pick Pan also, because I would never be willing to say I'm only going to be attracted to somebody based on their gender. Because if you're a freaking awesome person, you make me laugh, you make me feel loved, I'm attracted to you. So
exactly.
I can't imagine saying anything other than Pan, because I'm just open to everything.
Why should I
See,
limit
that's
my
the other
options?
side of the stick that I'm trying to figure out too. Is like, I'm like, is it testosterone or is it I'm just being more me? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I was never attracted to men, really. Little twinkie men. Yeah, I'd go, I could probably fuck him, but I'd probably bend that over. But I was never really attracted to them. It was more of a power dynamic because I spent so much of my life with. I don't want to talk about it too much and get like a pity party going on or anything, but let's just say there's been a lot of times in my life that older men have taken advantage of my emotional despair and got what they wanted out of it. And I'm talking like I was 18, my mom just died, and they were in their 40s and 50s. Kind of
Oh
shit.
man.
Yeah. Didn't realize that until a few years ago. Thought about it and remembered, and I thought, holy fuck, what sick bastards those are. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You're like my age now, and you're just took advantage of some fucking 18-year-old kid that didn't know anything. What the fuck is wrong with you? But anyways, so for me, the only thing that ever turned me on about it was the power dynamic of making them the bitch for a change. It's pretty much what it always was with me. I never wanted to have sex with a guy. I just wanted him to be my bitch. I'd get a big, strong, manly man and make him fucking squeal like a pig.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Fuck him. And I'd like to do it to that particular one. Well, there's one in particular anyways. My kid's sperm donor, whether I wanted it or not. So
I don't know where I fit in that spectrum.
Ox said, what is a two-spirit person? Two-spirit is a term used within some indigenous communities encompassing a cultural, spiritual, sexual, and gender identity. Well, there you go, Ox. It's an indigenous term they're using, so you're probably right. The term reflects complex indigenous understandings of gender roles, spirituality, and long history of sexual and gender diversity in indigenous cultures. My shaman has told me stories of the lady men that were thought to carry the spirit of a past elder grandmother held in high / same level as chief because they were lady men. Interesting.
I'm gonna have to look more into this. It sounds interesting.
That is very interesting, actually.
Mage, what every culture
give us some
throughout
sources.
history.
Oh yeah, I know.
Everywhere in the world has had transgender people.
Oh yeah, it's been going on for a long fucking time.
And a way long time ago, they looked at transgender people and they considered them to be exalted in some fashion. Very often put them in positions of priests or soothsayers, this sort of thing. Honored them. Okay, it's only been within the last 75 to 100 or so years where looking at people, gay people or trans people, and lumping them all into one category and calling them all sick and mentally ill and all these other sorts of things has occurred. It's only this culture that has done that. Okay, we are
Christianity.
in
Even in the Bible, castrated men were used as guards.
Yes,
because they wouldn't rape anybody because they had no testosterone to do it.
Which is why I say that we should fucking cut the goddamn dick and the balls off of fucking rapists.
If you're a priest, you shouldn't have any. You don't need testosterone either, because if you're supposed to be celibate, you don't.
Losing your nuts is not going to stop your ability to rape somebody. So
yeah,
well, they ain't gonna fucking enjoy it, are they?
Well, no, sure I mean, if they castrate you completely, I mean, it would physically take away you wouldn't have the ability to rape someone with that appendage. I mean, because rape is described as any type of penetration.
You're not going to get off.
Yeah.
You need to talk to a bunch of people who have been castrated.
Okay.
Trans people.
Okay. I will totally
they'll
open
tell you
myself
about their
for that.
abilities.
That's not the point, Jenny. The point is that this fuckers need punished. And if it's a woman, cut her goddamn clit off. I don't give a fuck. I'm not partial to gender.
Okay. I don't want to hear that talk. I just don't want to hear that.
Then you can either stay or leave, but that's how I feel about it. I don't like everybody's opinions. Nobody has to like mine. It's my fucking opinion. Just like I think 10-year-old boys should have their goddamn tubes tied until they're mature enough to decide they want to have children. And we won't have this goddamn abortion debate. And we won't have to worry about the 5 million goddamn kids just in the US that are homeless and in fucking foster care. And because now the men want bodily autonomy, now they want it. Fuck you. Women never had it. Fuck you.
Is it seriously 5 million?
Take a goddamn hit for the team, you fuckers. It's an outpatient surgery that would take a matter of like less than an hour, and it would be very, very little pain. Anybody ever had their tubes tied? What kind of surgery was that? Was that fun? Was it an outpatient? You just put an ice pack on it and you're fine in 2 days? Fuck no, it isn't.
No, I had my tubes tied.
Men need to start fucking owning their goddamn end of it.
I agree 100%.
And if men can't have children, are pumping out any sperm, guess what? You don't have any accidental goddamn babies. Mm-hmm. It's the smartest thing to ever. That's why
a man can get a.
Men. They started birth control for men so they could go fuck whoever they wanted and never have to be responsible for it. But they didn't like how it made them feel, and they were bloated, and they didn't feel so good. So let's give it to women instead. Let's make them carry the goddamn fucking staff for the rest of their fucking. No, it's time. It's past time. Men need to stand up and fucking do something about it. Mm-hmm. Bottom line. So anyways, I'm done. And yes, I do think that people that rape people should have their fucking, their ability to come taken away from them. Yes, I fucking do. It's the only thing they fucking care about. They don't kind of care about what they're doing to those children. They don't care that they're destroying their lives, causing insecurity and trust issues and abandonment issues and mommy and daddy issues and all these other things that they do to these fucking kids and these fucking women and these fucking men. They don't care. So who the fuck cares about them? Cut their shit off. Let them fucking live the rest of their lives. They don't need to orgasm to fucking use their bodily functions.
They can still orgasm
with a quarter-inch dick.
They can still orgasm. They just won't produce sperm. That's all.
Good.
Well,
but that's the whole point of it, isn't it?
The point is that they're worried about their dick.
No, the point of it was that they believe that if you took away a male's gonads, that they would lose all sexual drive and interest, and that's just not true. They did it with homosexuals. Alan Turing in England, they whacked off his balls. It didn't. All it did was to him was make him kill himself.
So they cut off his dick and his balls, and he still got off.
No, they cut off his balls because he was gay. Because he was gay.
Saying, Jenny, I said cut off their dick. Nobody's raping a woman or a fucking child with their goddamn balls. I said their dick. Cut their dick off. I don't give a fuck about their balls. What the only thing good that those balls do on a rapist? Identity. That's the only good balls do. Mm-hmm. DNA testing. Track that motherfucker down and fucking throw his ass away.
And if women have to carry a baby, then the man should have to start paying child support the day it's conceived.
At pregnancy, at conception. Yes, Sadie. Yes.
It should be. I agree with you, Sadie. It should be a felony of equal intensity to abortion. That if a man doesn't pay their child support, they go to prison for years.
Yes,
absolutely. Because if you're gonna put me, I can't have an abortion because you passed some damn law saying it's not lawful or what the fuck ever your agenda is. Then men should not be allowed to impregnate women.
Did you see those 2 women that got?
Wait, Sadie. Oh, sorry. Sadie, you did it again. Hold that thought. I know you're probably done. Hold that thought. Go ahead, Deb.
I was just saying that men need to, it's a equal opportunity thing because it takes 2 to make a baby. So it should take 2 to be responsible for whatever's going to happen with that child. And it's not fair that women absolutely 100% held responsible, because you don't hear anybody saying, oh, Donnie down the road who's impregnated 4 women is a slut. But then 4 women that he impregnated, they're all sluts and whores because they let Donnie impregnate them. There's no letting there, okay?
And that goes right into my next point I have. And the last thing I'm going to say is, once anybody that has birthing parts in them, uterus, i.e., et cetera, should...
Do we lose back?
Froze, looks like.
And I can't hear Deb because she's talking with her mic off.
I'm sorry, I did it again. I think he froze.
I think he did too. Back.
The internet
Hi,
couldn't
Beck.
handle Beck's passion.
Well, I just texted him, so hopefully that'll help. Maybe, should I text him or just call him? You think? I don't know.
I wonder what.
I want to hear the point he was trying to make.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
We lost him. He'll be back.
anything
Any
to
moment now.
You're muted.
Yeah, because I was being loud and saying some inappropriate shit, so I was trying to be nice and eating chips, you know.
Hey, when Beck comes back, let's start talking immediately, like we've been talking about cupcakes.
I mean, I'm kind of hungry.
Cream filling is so good.
We could just talk about cupcakes anyway. I don't think I had dinner yet. So.
I need some frosting.
I had dinner
Red
before I got on
velvet.
here.
Oh man.
Oh my God, yes, frosting. Frosting would be great.
Are
Very
The
good.
There
best
he
kind
is.
of frosting is
buttercream.
buttercream.
The question is still, are Twinkies a donut or a cupcake?
No, they're just
Yes.
Neither.
gross.
They're Twinkies.
I think they're just
They are
Twinkies. They have a category of their
a
own.
cake with filling.
They're nasty.
Agreed. Whoever
Anyways,
said
the
they're
last thing
nasty, I'm
I was
with
trying
you.
to say was,
They were
women
good.
should be able to, anybody that has any reproductive parts should be allowed to get them removed at any fucking point in time. You're 18, you're a goddamn adult, it's your decision. No one should make a woman be 35 or 40 and have so many kids. Fuck that. It's her fucking choice, nobody else's. That pisses me off too. Go back to icing. I love frosting. My
Goodness,
favorite,
Beck, I might love
personally,
you more than I did before you started talking.
is my
I like
favorite personally is
banana
carrot cake.
cupcakes.
I
with
love
sour
carrot
cream
cake.
icing.
Oh,
I like
carrot
carrot
cake's
cake
the
with no
best.
icing.
Homemade
Though. I'm
with
weird.
carrots in it is the shit. What do you
Unfortunately,
guys- you
everybody,
like
I'm gonna have to
carrots?
hop off for the night. My phone is at 5%.
Okay, see you
That's
later,
plenty.
Kyle.
Yeah, that's about
You'll be
3
fine.
minutes
Plug
worth
it
with
in.
this.
Not with StreamYards. Yeah.
Do you know how bad
I love you,
StreamYard
buddy.
is for your battery? It's so bad.
Oh, it sucks the life right out of it. I know. That's one of
I
Jenny's
started the
problems, 'cause
stream
she's
with
always using her phone.
58%.
Plug it
Yeah.
in.
I started
I-
this half of the show at 100%, and it's down to 48% already.
Oof.
Do you see
Yeah,
Kyle,
y'all-
get
is
yourself
that?
a wireless charger.
Yeah.
What?
Get
I
yourself
love
one
my
of those wireless
wireless
charger
charger.
stands. You put your, you put the,
Instead
I'll
of
buy
a
you one.
cupcakes?
Give me your address.
What about a maple
But you
cupcake
can set
with
your
bacon
phone
on
on
top?
it, and it's a phone holder, and it's slightly angled, so you can like stream or whatever, and it charges
really?
while it's on the holder, and you can plug it, and you can plug in headphones. Yes,
Well, shit. Let me just get
I'm
some
serious.
money
Give
and
me
I
your
will
address. I'll
work
buy
that
you. I'll
out.
buy you one.
I got
buy
this
you
off
one.
of
Just give me
Amazon
your
for like
address.
$12.
Legit? That's
It's
But
yeah,
buy me one. I'm the one with no money.
I've been thinking about getting one of those.
I love it. It's probably not good for my battery because like my phone's always on it, but it's so fucking convenient.
But yeah, bye everybody. Love y'all. Have a good
See you,
night.
Kyle.
Okay, Kyle.
Later.
All right, Sadie, we're down for the cupcake debate here because maple with bacon? Is that what I heard you say?
Yeah, that's what I said. Have you
Hey,
ever
you
had a
know-
maple donut with bacon on top?
I have, because they have Voodoo Donuts and they have another thing out here in Portland that make the most
That gets frozen.
freaking best donuts ever. He is frozen again, isn't
Well,
he?
whoops.
Oh, so what should be the next topic when he comes back?
He's like this.
Horse chow.
Horse what?
Chow.
Horse chow.
I
Yeah.
don't know enough about horse.
Purina
chow.
horse chow. There's Purina horse chow. There's Purina rat chow. There's Purina guinea pig chow. There really is. You don't see it out on the regular market, but you can get. When I tended the rats at UW Milwaukee, we had Purina rat chow.
Wow, I don't even know what to say to that, Jen. Rat chow.
Well, all these animals have different dietary needs.
I guess, but I've never considered a rat a pet. But I
I
guess
had
that's
rats
just
rats.
me.
as
They were awesome pets.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
Rats are
love
great
the
pets.
meme of the kid that says, "Mom, why doesn't cat food taste like mouse?"
Believe it or not, cats, they've tried that, and cats don't like the taste of mouse flavored cat food.
I can't
That's
imagine
interesting.
why. That's funny.
My
Oh my
rats would
goodness.
eat anything, man. Every morning when I'd make breakfast, they'd get pieces of bell peppers and all kinds
Really?
of crazy shit.
Rats
Yep.
are ubiquitous in their diets.
They're great fucking pets. But my two rats, two boys, they just passed away like 6 months ago. I had Jubal and Diogenes, and they were fucking cool. I would get like a pork butt to make a stew, and then I would give them the bone afterwards, or like when I'd make ribs,
Oh,
give them the bones. Oh, they fucking loved it. They were such good little boys. I miss them.
I had
Really
I had this
good
one,
pets.
I had this one rat that kept escaping from his enclosure, and he'd get into the food and take one piece of food and carry it across the living room underneath the chair. And I had cat sitting there. My mom comes out, and the rat runs across the cat's paws, and the cat just jumps up and looks at him like, "You're not supposed to be out."
I bought a big. You can't see it because on my screen. I've got it, it's literally like 4.5 feet tall. This huge 2-decker steel fucking ferret cage that they got all kinds of shit to go up on, and
wow.
they're great pets. I love rats. They only live for like 2 years though.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's like a maximum of about 3 or 4 years
Yeah.
at most.
It's
I used
tough.
to have just terrible guilt about these rats that would spend about 1.5 to 2 years in the lab as experimental subjects, and then I would be required to put them down.
oh.
And I always felt very guilty about it until I learned that they only probably had another 6 months left to live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There it goes again.
You know, I had a hamster, and that's what cured me of any type of rodent pets because he would get out at night. And his name was Giggle Mimer, by the way. When I was little, that was a great name, I guess. And he'd get out of his cage and he would crawl on me in the middle of the night, and I would feel him and I would freak the F out. So I cannot have any type of like ferrets, nothing like that, because I'm afraid they're going to break out and freaking.
I love
Ah!
ferrets. I had a ferret before.
Ferrets.
They're such sweet animals.
Oh,
Do you have to descent a ferret?
Yes, even afterwards they do have something a bit of a
Yeah.
scent out.
They
They're really
definitely still
skunks.
have a musk. Yeah.
Yeah, me.
I had two
I
when I
would-
was in high school.
For fantasy pets, I would love to have an otter. I think they're just so fucking cute. Oh
and they're
God!
so
I get sucked
affectionate.
into a
They're so
rabbit hole on
warm.
YouTube with those.
Yes.
There's a Korean guy that rehabs otters. He's got like 6 or 7 of them in his fucking house, and he's got all kinds of videos on these adorable fucking otters. And I'm
Yeah, my cousins had a gerbil that they gave me last year, and they had this plastic stuff. I took all the plastic out, replaced it with wood. He developed this science infection. I found out it was because the wood shavings they had in there was the right type, so I replaced that. Got him back to health, and lived about another 7 months with me before he died the day after Christmas.
ooh.
Oh. Hey, so y'all, Beck says that he's hoping his internet corrects itself soon. He's going to keep trying.
We should get Puck in here.
I don't even know how to do any of that.
I don't think we
so-
can until Buck comes back.
Until Beck comes
Unless
back?
somebody has.
Oh yeah, because he's
Yeah.
that sucks. I like Puck.
The beaver.
Oh, I'm sure he'll put him in when he
My
gets
school
here.
mascot was a beaver.
Mine was a hawk.
I was a lion in high school and a Spartan in junior high.
I knew a gynecologist named Dr. Beaver.
No, you did not.
Yes, I really did. It was spelled Biever, and
That's
he
great.
really was.
That was my grandpa's middle name.
Nuh-uh.
Gynecologist?
No, I
Oh,
walked into that one, didn't I? Look,
Eyes wide
Damn it.
open, man.
I did. I'm sober tonight, so I'm like not on my game. I'm sorry.
No, hey, can we make a comment here? Buck, it's not that it's not that nobody wants to let you in. It's just that Beck can't get back in because of his internet, and he's the only one who can let you in.
I had an allergist named Dr. Bloom.
Nuh-uh.
oh yeah, that's
No,
Catholic,
no.
sure.
Yes.
Oh, is it gonna work?
Oh, let's hope.
Drum roll, please.
We need a banner that says "Stand by."
It's 11 p.m. Do you parents know where your children are?
Do you know where your Beck is?
If your children come to Starbucks, I will definitely serve them a Trenta pink drink.
Oh, yes, Sadie, how did that go with the whole
So
Sunday
they were like
thing?
saying how busy they are. I'm like, it was not fucking, it was not
Really?
busy at all. I'm like,
And
no,
the church.
they've
you
never
still
worked at the Mall of America. They don't have any clue what busy is.
Mm.
They think it's busy. It's not busy.
Do you work at Starbucks yet?
Yeah.
And it's next to a mega church.
I heard
Ew.
a terrible story about the Starbucks today. A woman working there is trans, in transition, taking HRT, and they're trying to form a union. And the manager of the store threatened her with taking away her ability to get HRT.
What
through
the
their
Manager
insurance.
can't do that. I bet you Howard
Oh,
would
yeah.
get her.
Oh.
Her job would be gone in a second if, like, the higher ups found out about that.
Well, I asked her about that, and she said that no, it's been done before. You know, and it's like I found that shocking. I will never go to Starbucks
I
again because of
honestly
it.
would like the manager shouldn't be saying that, but this is why I'm concerned about our stores going to going to union is that we are going to lose we could lose the awesome benefits that we do have.
Well, that's something you'd have to negotiate with the union before you
I would never join a
sign
union. Never.
Well,
I will quit.
Then go ahead, be controlled by the
Because
owner of the company.
I want to be the owner of our company is why we have all of the things that we have. Like
It's a tough thing.
I've worked for unions and I don't want to work for a union.
It is tough because, like, if you join a union, then you have people who are not necessarily, in my opinion, my humble opinion, are not necessarily in the things that actually go on in your industry, and they're speaking for you. So I found that when I was a paramedic, I joined a union once, and I'll never join a union again because they were like, oh, well, this is the majority. I don't want the majority. I want to be able to speak for myself. And being not in a union allowed me to have that voice. That's,
what
again,
group
my
of people
opinion.
at
You
Starbucks do you
may
think
have
are
voice.
asking for unions?
You may have voice, but you have zero power.
I have to disagree. I had a lot of power because I was able to talk to my supervisor directly and talk to them about the problems I was having, and they were able to accommodate me. With a union, I would have never been able to have that accommodation.
Yep.
Then you happen to have a good person. There's one hell of a lot more bad people out there.
Trans people have excellent benefits at Starbucks, and do you think that they're going to have that with a union?
I don't know. I'm unfamiliar with all the negotiations and everything.
And only have to work 20 hours a week.
Wait, Starbucks gives you benefits after 20
I
hours
only
a
have
week?
to work 20 hours a week to get benefits. Do you think I'm going to have that?
That's fucking
with
amazing.
Probably not, because those are benefits that Starbucks offers, not a union.
And because there's no union, the manager can stand there and say, we're going to take your HRT away.
I guarantee you, if the higher ups heard a manager say that, that manager would lose their job. because I know how this company like works higher up, and they would never tolerate that kind of discrimination ever.
Well, I have to stay stay neutral in the middle of it until I see some actual proof of what's happened.
It, and I work there, so like I have a lot to say.
No, I need to see what happens with this woman and that manager.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I can't form an opinion until that.
Yeah, if it especially if it like hit the media, they would lose their job. Like I've seen managers lose. My manager lost his job just for like a little bit of harassment in the back room. That's harassment, like, and discrimination. Starbucks does not tolerate that at all.
Yeah, but managers like that person Jenny's talking about, they get off on the power trip. He's just trying to put his power over that person.
Yep.
And when you work in that environment for even a short amount of time, you get used to it and you're like, okay, I'm not going to make any waves. I really need my freaking job, you know? Mm-hmm. And the best thing that person can do is go above his head, but it's scary to go above their head because you're going to lose your fucking job, you know? And I can understand both sides.
Their head.
Well, that's the threat. That's the threat that managers will make is I'm going to make sure you lose your job if you take this anywhere, you know.
Sadie,
and that's what child molesters say to kids. If you say I'm going to kill you, so like you have to learn how to defend. Like,
Sadie, do me a favor. Get me the contact methods and people in the higher ups
just
from
call
Starbucks.
HR.
I'm going to write them a letter on my own behalf.
Write one to Howard. Like they brought Howard back for a reason because it was going to shit, Starbucks. They brought Howard back because he is the person that has started this company and has had it brought it to where it's at. And
well, I was just looking up this pink drink you mentioned earlier, and I think I might be able to make a variation of it for myself.
What is it?
It's caffeinated.
It looks like it's mostly coconut milk and strawberry.
It's strawberry refresher, which is made with green coffee extract. Which is like it's like the Starbucks energy drink.
I was thinking about maybe making it with hibiscus tea.
It won't be a pink drink, but yeah, you could do that.
You know, like I said, a variation.
Yeah, it would be the blue drink. Oh, there's a joke going around, and people literally were coming in and asking if they could buy the Under the Sea refresher, which is basically Ernix that a partner put into a cup with some ice, and it looks blue just to as an April Fool's joke.
And now people want to buy it?
They think that it's a real drink, but it's just the chemicals we use to clean the coffee pot.
Oh, God, that's awful.
So it's funny because customers will be like, do you have the blue drink? We're like, no, that's not actually a thing. Like, you fall for it.
You know, I used to drink the pink drink, but they have to substitute the coconut milk because I'm allergic to coconuts because it had less carbohydrates and stuff. At least I was told that. Mm-hmm. And so I could do it for keto because that's how I maintained a lot of my weight after I had surgery. So, but yeah, people are like, what do you mean you can't have coconut? I'm like, yeah, I can't have coconut milk. I'm allergic. I'll bring it into one big fat hive. And they're like, well, it's not a pink drink, but we'll give it to you. I'm like, you guys.
For a keto, you should add a little heavy cream because heavy cream is like the fat in the milk is what makes the caffeine work because caffeine is fat soluble, which is why people on keto put heavy cream in their coffee.
We put it in everything, man. Everything.
And the keto drink is actually passion tea with sugar-free vanilla and
is that what it is?
Heavy cream, yeah.
Oh, that still sounds
I
yummy.
use half and half in place of my milk and cereal.
Do you? Because I use heavy cream in just about everything, like my cooking, everything, because you know, some of you guys know I used to weigh like 300 pounds and I'm down to 186 and I'll be goddamn if I'm ever going back over 200 ever again. So like I eat keto every way I can except for the alcohol. It gets me every time. But so I totally eat keto all the time.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I used to drink those little half and half creamers at coffee places and stores. I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
You mean those little things at the table in a restaurant you open up and have liquid coffee white?
Yeah, it's
You
a
dr-
little
you
half.
drink
the little-
those?
Those little half and half containers. Yeah, I used to drink those things all the time when I was a kid.
Ew.
I'm drinking this space Coke. It's good.
How exactly is Space Coke different than any other Coke?
It's Starlight Coke. It tastes like cotton candy.
It's pretty good. I like it.
Really? I just
I
figured
like
out that McDonald's Coke is better than any other Coke on the planet. I
Because
love that.
McDonald's
Mhm.
never changes the ratios on their soda.
Nope, never.
And like those, the soda machines like down south when they're like 89 cents for any size, they're changing the ratios to make their money.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
McDonald's doesn't do that.
Is that Space Coke like the Pepsi Nitro?
I don't know.
I've never
It's
had
the
Pepsi
Starlight
Nitro.
Coke. It's called Starlight.
So everybody, you know what love is?
Hey.
Hey,
Love is-
back.
He's
Love is when you
working.
go out to your pickup truck so you can get a signal on your phone because your internet died, and you have no phone signal in your house because you live in an aluminum box. So here I am.
Oh, thank you for coming back, Beck.
We
You're
missed you.
welcome.
We've been missing you a lot.
Aw,
trying to-
you guys are fine without me. I was listening.
We're talking about Coke, man. Not Coke, but
We're
just like
talking
Well,
about Starbucks
Coca-Cola.
Canada.
We're
Yes,
talking about
yes.
Coca-Cola. We could be talking about Coke.
Soda.
I guess
Well,
we could if we wanted to.
If I'm gonna pick a soda, it's gonna be Coca-Cola. But I rarely drink soda.
I'm gonna
Me
have to
too,
offend everybody and say I drink Diet
I'm a
Coke is
Dr.
what I
Pepper.
drink.
We know,
Hey,
we're
I drink
sorry.
root
Beth-
beer.
Are you from Texas?
Beck
True.
Puck's is in the pre-stage.
Oh yeah. Puck is backstage. Oh, can Beck operate StreamYard from his mobile?
I don't know.
I don't know, bro. I've never done this before.
Ooh.
I
You
just
gotta
found
make
out.
somebody else.
There
There
he
we
is.
go. There we go.
Yeah.
It
I
worked.
found it. Hi, Puck.
Hey guys, I'm test driving a new setup, so I have no idea how's this working.
Sounds good.
Sounds
Good.
great.
I call this the Wilson.
Why?
Why?
Oh, do you remember that old show Home Improvement? There was that neighbor Wilson.
Oh yeah.
You could never see.
Yeah.
Listen.
You can never
That's
see
what
his
you're talking
face. Yes.
Yes.
That's
I am-
freaking
I'm-
awesome.
Didn't they show his face at the last episode?
I don't remember.
There
I
was
didn't
one
really
episode
watch
where you
that show. I
briefly-
just knew the concept of Wilson.
Yeah, there was
Yeah.
one episode where you briefly see his whole face.
Yeah, I think it was the last episode. Like at the end of the show, I think they all
Yeah.
like, took a bow and he came out.
And he
I
was
think
the
you're right,
and he was the old man in Pet Cemetery.
Mhm.
I knew that too. I just learned that though.
Was he? He was the old man. Oh my God, he was, wasn't he?
Mhm.
We formed a
Oh,
union while Beck was
shit.
gone.
Huh?
Here, you see what Stool's
Stool.
saying?
We formed a union while you were gone, Beck.
Well, it doesn't take long, buddy. So I bet you did.
You have to pay us $20 an hour to be here, starting
That's
yesterday.
right.
Starting yesterday.
Starting yesterday. Oh, that's great.
A union would make you have to give us part of your shares that you make from YouTube, and if that's 0, then we get 0.
I like that. Okay, so what were we talking about when you disappeared on us, Beck?
Fuck if I remember.
I don't remember either. So
That was like 15 minutes ago.
Oh yeah, the few stores that actually went to union actually reversed it because it wasn't that great.
You know, I have someone on my Facebook comments who regularly pitches to, like, regularly links me whenever there's anything union going on. I admit that I don't know enough about it, other than to say that I don't feel like a union is necessarily in my best interest as an employee. Like, there's no way that I can guarantee that a union
Yeah.
they're not obligated to act in my best interest. So to me, and I'm still waiting for someone to explain why I'm wrong. It seems like now I have two different group cultures that I have to play nice with. I already have to play nice with the company that I'm working with, and now I have to make a union happy, which is not only under no obligation to look out for my best interest, but also
union-
I have to pay for it.
A union is run by the members. If you want to make the union be and do certain things, you get involved beyond just being a dues-paying member and become somebody who works within the organization through elections and being put in position by the other frontline workers.
So I guess like, am I just because I've always felt like I have plenty of say in my conditions in my workplace, and I've always felt like I can have the right conversations with the right people to affect the quality of my workplace. So like, I guess like, what am I missing? Because I feel like I've always been able to do that. So it feels
Puck,
like a union is just an extra step for me.
So
Puck, I agree. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
well, there's a huge difference between being in a union. Like, okay, so I used to do metal fabrication, and our shop was not unionized, but the guy that owned the shop took care of us,
Mhm.
right? But we were just a little shop, and the jobbers or the shop workers union were always like every other month. We're at the end of our driveway. We were going home trying to get us to join, and you can get this. I'm like, well, the guy takes care of us, so there was no need for us to have a union.
Mhm.
But when you're in a big, huge corporation and you're this little tiny cog, you know, there can be benefits to it. I was a cement worker for a while, and I was a union for the cement work. I was in the union for the cement workers, and especially places like here in Detroit, there were specific jobs that a non-unionized cement worker couldn't do the job. Like they weren't even allowed to bid because they weren't in the union. So there's pros and cons, and if you're in a big company, there can be more pros than cons. It's a weird fucking balancing act.
Yeah,
Well,
like
the-
I can see the where a union would be beneficial, where an employee or employment pool is limited. For example,
Or yeah.
high tier professional sports. Absolutely, I understand why they need a
Yeah.
union because they don't have, they need someone to represent the interests of in a very very small place where they can find jobs. Or maybe geographically, there's only so many jobs available in your area, so a union is beneficial there. But I guess like in a big city like I live in, where there are plenty of other opportunities available. Like I don't get why the better idea is not just find the place that has the environment you're looking for and put in work there.
And
Before
I
1980,
absolutely want this clear though. Okay, I am showing my work because I admit that I don't know enough. I'm just laying this out as a baseline so you guys can see where I'm coming from, can tell me what I'm missing.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to assess. I'm not
Yeah.
trying to assert that I'm right. I'm saying what am I missing?
well, when you get to
before
the point where
1980, there was a much larger percentage of workers who were unionized, and those people are what built the middle class of the United States, which didn't exist before the unions came in. Okay, before unions came in, employers had the right to kill their employees who wouldn't come to work because they were unhappy with conditions, and the government would stand by and help them out, shooting employees. Okay, unions built this country. Unions created a 40-hour work week. Unions created a weekend off. Unions created health care. Okay, because all of those things, the employers said, fuck you, they're just workers, we don't care. And as we have had more and more years without unions since 1980 and Reagan destroying Petco, the employee rights have gotten less and less. You guys have no idea how much you're abused because you've grown up under an abuse situation. Okay, I grew up with unions all around me, and I see what it used to be. You guys
I'm in
don't
Detroit.
know what you're missing.
There's tons and tons of unions in Detroit. I mean, it's so industrialized here. Well, it's not really anymore, but that whole culture has remained in this area big time.
Well, when we get to the point where we have to have people pissing in bottles and shitting in bags so they don't get fired, it's probably about the time when we need the union.
So I did a paper on did a lot of studying on the meatpacking plants and unions, and I can see where that is totally necessity. And then they lost the union, and now people die in meatpacking plants, and it's not sanitary. They hire people that are not legally able to work in America. So there's a lot there, but Starbucks is a whole different thing. I just don't think
every company and union is a different situation. But there are many companies that need unions right now, but they haven't been able to get them because the ability of unions to get a vote down legitimately have been lessened because the NLRB has been watered down so badly by the Republicans over the years.
And that's where I have a problem with the union at Starbucks, because I think the employees that are pushing for it are the ones that are a little more conservative and not the ones that have like Starbucks is such a queer work environment. Like I think it's going to hurt people more than it's going to help them. And I just have this icky feeling about it and I don't like it. And I've worked in retail at Kmart with the union and they didn't do anything for us. They didn't do anything. Like you could still lose your job. It was not anything that was like.
I would like to address Ox's point. Yes, Ox, you're correct. Unions have much less to do with your employment and satisfying you and making you happy than they used to. And that's because the NLRB has been weakened and the employers can do whatever they want and push the union around because they don't have as much power from the liquidation of the NLRB. Okay, it's a circle. It's a vicious circle. And
if it goes to the point where if you work at Starbucks, you have to work 40 hours a week to get your benefits and you don't get free tuition reimbursement. You don't have the medical benefits that I have, which are like, I didn't even have these awesome benefits when my ex was working for LabCorp.
See, that's
where
that's called a negotiation. Mm-hmm. And if you have a union negotiates with the employer to get the things that the employees want in their contract.
And the union will typically have a vote for, they'll have all the union members vote on what they want to be put into that contract.
Mm-hmm. But one of the other biggest problems with unions today is that so many people have given up and walked away and do not take part and do not participate in the organization and the contract development and voting procedures. And so the union gets to do it. It's like, and they'll sit down and they'll let themselves be abused by the employer because they probably are getting a kickback somewhere. Okay, so I'm not saying that unions are this great, end all be all kind of thing, but they have a huge purpose and they really made a change in this nation. Look up at labor riots and stuff back in the turn of the 20th century. There was some in my hometown in Milwaukee. Okay, so Milwaukee was a union town, and that's where I grew up, and that's what I know. I've been fired from 2 different places trying to organize a union.
Well, I think Sadie has a valid point, and so does Jenny, because the unions they have a role. They absolutely have a role, and they do bring a lot to the table. But when you're looking at things from Sadie's point of view, you're seeing that there's already so much to freaking lose if you take the chance on a union. I can see why Sadie would say, I don't want to do that. And in my case, I didn't want to be the union because they unionized EMS for 1 year before I left, and it was absolutely the worst year of EMS I've ever had because they didn't understand what was going on. It was a nurses union, and it's totally different from being in the hospital than being out on the streets. And that's where my bad experience came from. But that doesn't mean every union is bad. I think unions definitely have their place. But again, like I said, I totally understand what
I'm just afraid that we're going to lose the work environment that the queer people that work there have. Like, I don't want to see us lose that. I don't want to lose my health benefits that are amazing. There's just like, the benefits that we have at Starbucks are better than a lot of businesses that are similar. And so like Starbucks is already like raising everybody's wages in August. And I just think that we have way more to lose. And I just don't, I will not stay if that happens. I'll go somewhere else. Like I can't afford to lose my health insurance. I can't afford to lose that. And there's a lot that I don't think people understand. I don't know. It's not like back in the early days when the meat packing plants, like we're getting paid pennies and we're dying.
Look at the dock workers in New England. That's where a lot of that shit originated from.
Starbucks is like most of the people that are working at Starbucks are college students trying to get through college and to better themselves. They're not there for a lifetime career.
Another point of interest I'm going to suggest to people to look up and learn a bit about. Research Mother Jones. I imagine most of you have heard that name. Mother Mary Jones was a labor organizer way back when, organizing a lot of the coal workers down in Illinois and other places, Kentucky and wherever they were mining coal. And if you happen to make it down to Mount Olive, Illinois, you can go to the cemetery that has her grave and the monument to her. It's a huge monument to this little old granny, because she kicked ass and she made unions happen where the people who were organizing didn't think they could work, and she made it happen. And it was just amazing.
I didn't say they can't work. I just say we don't need it at Starbucks. We already have a lot.
I'm not saying Starbucks should have one. I'm talking about unions in generic terms.
Yeah.
Their unions are absolutely essential. Workers are being abused, and by wages, by treatment, by expectations before employment, drug testing before employment. What the hell does an employer business have going into my body?
I don't have to have drug testing.
No, you don't. But many jobs do require that.
I had 6 months, like 2 months of catastrophe pay, and I didn't even have to work. I had 4 months of leave of absence, and they covered my insurance. Like Amazon, those people are the ones that need the union because they're the ones that worked through the whole pandemic, and they're sick and dying. Those are the people. Starbucks, they
well, there's a place and a time for everything, from what you're saying, Starbucks definitely doesn't need it, but there are definitely places that do need it. And like Amazon is a really good example of that. They need to have the union to protect the workers. And, I'm really grateful that you have a job that you can be where you're at, Sadie, and you have those amazing benefits. And I hope nothing changes that. But I have to also agree with Jen that there's so many people that we need to protect through the union. And I'm not a big fan of the union, but I'm not close to the union, like just about everything else in my life. I'll be open to explain to me what's going on, and maybe we'll talk about it. You know what I'm saying?
And I agree with you. I think combining a nurses union with the paramedic situation is lunacy. They are such different job paths.
Oh, absolutely.
There's just no way to relate to each other.
We had a situation like that when I was with the cement workers union, the Masons. We had just absorbed the plasterers, guys that like hang sheetrock and like do decorative shit on plaster, because their union was too small. So we absorbed them, and then for like the first 6 months of them being part of our union, they were the 528 instead of whatever they were before. All of our union meetings were just a disaster because these guys were pissed, and it was it was national. There was nothing they could have done. It was that, the national union said, okay, this is what's happening. These two local chapters, and it just because we had vaguely similar jobs, we're pouring concrete and they're, dicking around with plaster. But those guys were mad. Oh, those were terrible fucking meetings.
So Ox brings up a really good point here in the chat. He says that joining a union should be a choice. And I agree 100%. You have no right to take away anybody's choice of what they want to do. So if you want to join the union, join it. But then don't. And if you don't then. But don't bitch when shit goes through that you don't want to go through. If you didn't join the union, you're not going to put your vote out there. You know what I mean?
I think what's going to happen is, like, if there's stores that do vote yes, what they'll do is they'll move the partners that don't want to be in the union.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's actually what they would do too, Sadie. That makes sense to me, But
I went and applied with I think it was FedEx. It was either FedEx or UPS. And they said, well, we're unionized. I'm like, cool, okay, I don't know much about it, but I'll learn more, And they were like, oh, to get this job, you have to put in hundreds of dollars for the union. I'm like, I don't have hundreds of dollars. I need a job.
I work for Starbucks. I'm not giving a union part of my wages. I'd rather those wages go to my benefits or into my 401k or something, not some union.
Yeah, so I couldn't take the job because I couldn't afford to pay into the union.
That's what the union provides. They provide a 401k. They provide.
I have a 401k. I don't need a union for that.
They'll put down. It's there for you. You don't have to take it, but it's there. Okay.
Yeah.
But that's the whole point of what Jenny's saying, and what you're saying too, Sadie, is that in your job you're provided great benefits and great things, which is awesome. But not
I get
everybody's
beanstalk
like that.
every year. I
That's
get shares
not
of
common.
stock. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not common. Absolutely, Beck. You're absolutely right. It is not common that employers are treated that well. You know, like on something that Paul was saying, like in Las Vegas, there's no painters union, and my husband's a painter. They're expected to join the electricians union, and they're getting no benefit from that union because it's not catered to painters, and that's a problem with what I could see with the unions. But I have to agree with Jenny in the overall, for the most part, they are really, really trying to improve the workers' situation.
I'm not saying that unions are all bad. I'm just saying it's not, Starbucks doesn't need it. Like,
there are places people work where they will only be scheduled to work 39 hours a week, because if they work 40 hours a week, they qualify for health benefits, pension, and other things.
And the states where it's 32 hours, and the states that it's 32 hours, they schedule them for 30. Yeah, Jenny's absolutely right. I've had it happen to me.
No, and I have to agree on that point. There are definitely companies out there that abuse the workers like that. But if we go on the opposite side of that, like, you know, like they're cutting hours, they want to make it's easier to have 50 part-time employees than 25 full-time employees. It's just much easier on their budget line. But Ox brings up a really good point, that what happens if you don't pay your dues and then they don't, if you don't choose not to join the union in a union company, are you really getting any benefit from that? For me, it's a slippery slope, because I want to have the benefits of a union, but I also have a really hard time letting anybody speak for me if they don't know the whole situation, if that makes any sense.
Well, there's different ways that people react to that. There's a school of people that say, if you're not paying the dues, you don't deserve the benefits. Okay? And there's people who say, well, they should, because they work in the same job that everybody else does, and we need to make the union more attractive, so then they'll choose to join, and all those things. So I don't have an answer for that. I can tell you though that in a right to work state, which there are many of them now, if you look at employment situations and worker satisfaction and worker benefits and all these other kinds of things that unions typically deal with, you will find that the people in the right to work states are paid less, have less time off, are treated poorly compared to non-right to work states, which is where the unions are going to be. And it's consistent in every damn state that's a right to work state. That ends up being
that is the one. Yes, Jenny is right, and that is the one thing about where I live that I do not like. It is a work state. It's the only thing about this state I don't like. And it's horrible, because that's what they do to people. All these people around here, they'll schedule everybody at, and Maya's right, it's 30 hours, not 32. I apologize, Maya. They will schedule them at 28 hours, so if they work over a little bit during the week, they don't hit that 30. And or they'll, as soon as you work 2 weeks under that 30, they take your fucking benefits away.
Oh yeah.
You would have to work 30 hours plus.
Consistently.
You can only miss 1 week at a time. If you do 2 weeks consecutively, they yank your benefits away. And it's fucking bullshit. It's fucking bullshit.
No, I have to agree. I don't like right to work states either, because they can, the whole purpose of it is they can fire you for no reason. You're just done. And unfortunately, that happened to me after I put a memory care unit in total tip-top shape, and they could pass the HEPA inspections and all of that stuff. They said, okay, your services are no longer needed. You're fired. And I was left out. I mean, I was doing 60 hours a week just to get that place on board so it could pass, so these people could still have a home.
Did you get paid overtime?
Yeah.
Yes, I get overtime, but it was only like because 40 hours. Once I went over 40 hours a week, Oh, I'm sorry. We were talking about when I was shaping up the memory care. No, I did not get overtime because I was salary. So it didn't matter how
Yes.
many
Now,
hours
were you
I put in.
actually management, or were you just given a title that sounded like maybe you were management?
Well, I think I was technically considered middle management, but I don't know because I was the assisted living
Yeah, that's
assisted living director.
that's another standardized tactic of employers
Yeah.
is to name somebody as a manager, and then you pay them a salary. But
Mhm.
to be honest, if you're paid a salary, they have to offer you comp time for your overtime. They have to offer you some benefit. They can't just work your ass for that extra 20 hours a week. And
No, what they do, Jenny, is they write
They
it in
do.
the fine print and you don't
Yeah.
know about it, and they
Yeah.
hire you at 40 to 48 hours a week salary. And then I did this, and I used to work 88 to 92 hours every week trying to keep my store going.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm referring to federal labor law, not
No,
Oh, no, I know. I know, but I'm saying that the companies have loopholes in their contracts.
no.
And the loophole that was in my company. I'm sorry, Jenny. Go ahead.
You cannot loophole a federal regulation. For federal regulation, okay, like you were talking about your break, an 8-hour day job, you're allowed two 10-minute breaks per day. You're allowed a 30-minute lunch period.
Nope.
They cannot take
State
that.
can override that. I worked in Texas at LabCorp, and they overrode that.
Yep, they sure can.
I quit because I was fighting them on that.
It certainly didn't used to be that way. It was absolutely a federal right to those.
When I worked at a candy factory in Round Lake, Minnesota, Sathers, we only got 2 20-minute breaks. We did not have to clock out, but that's all we got. We were working 12-hour shifts sometimes.
But that's the difference. So if you didn't have to clock out for the 20-minute break, then you're not entitled to the 30-minute break because you're actually getting paid for the time you're on a break. That's the way they work around it. The company that I worked for, it was at the end of the year. They would total your hours at the end of the year, and you actually had overtime hours at the end of the year. Then you would get a comp. But they always made sure, like, hey, you need to take a day off. You're having too many hours, whatever. That's what happened to me. It's like, okay, Deborah, it's Thursday. You've had too many hours. We need you to take a day off. And I'm like, okay. But that's go ahead.
Starbucks is exemplary, and their reputation precedes them by far. That people have known for a long time that Starbucks is known well for taking care of its employees by health insurance, by employment standards.
I work 20 hours a week.
Things like that. However, again, it's going to sound repetitive. There's just so many companies out there that don't take care of their employees, that do break federal labor laws and con you so that you don't know that they're breaking the law. Okay, federal labor law is very important, and employers can get into big fucking trouble by breaking it. I know. I've taken them to court for it. Okay.
So here's probably a really stupid question from the underinformed guy down here at the bottom with really creepy porcelain dolls in the background. Okay, just stupid question. Maybe it's because I'm not understanding something. So as many people as believe in making good workplaces for employees and that's a good thing, then why has someone who believes strongly in this not just started their own local coffee shop or restaurant and said, you know what, I'm going to give my employees $20 base pay, no need for tips. We're just going to start them at this. Why has nobody, instead of saying we want to alter our workplace, why do people just not have a workplace that they have run in this way and demonstrate then that this is a functional model for how business can operate?
Because they don't have $100,000 or so to start one.
But enough people, of all the people who believe in strong employees' rights, you're saying that of all of those, there's not a single one that can start a business.
Well, sure, there are.
I'm sure there are ones.
Where are these?
I
know we can think of a few examples.
They could all start licensed Starbucks stores.
Why would it have to be a Starbucks? Why not
stores.
just start a coffee shop in your neighborhood? Advertise to your neighborhood. This is the reason we have this. So let's show that this can be a functional business model and not have to piggyback off the Starbucks name to say, this is our community. This is the coffee shop for our community. This is what we have behind it. This is why we have this business model to treat our employees this way. So you as a community should support us. So why are this is truly not a functional business model to have this?
I have a pair of friends, brothers, who in Milwaukee started a coffee shop before Starbucks ever got to town, and it was a great coffee shop. Everybody loved it. It was called Altera, and they opened a second store, and then suddenly they opened a third store, and then a fourth store, and now they've got franchises all over southeast Wisconsin, northern Illinois, and other places, and where they are, Starbucks can't get a foot in and do very well at all, because everybody is a fan of Altera. Well, now their name is changed, but Altera is still the number one coffee choice in Milwaukee. Care was there, Starbucks is there, nobody cares.
Okay.
So yes,
so I guess
that does happen. That does happen.
Okay, so I guess what I'm wondering is, why is change Starbucks preferable to
Wait, there's too many
make a
people
new model?
talking.
I'm sorry, I heard static.
Thank you.
Okay, sorry, I'm back.
No, Jenny was still talking.
No, I finished. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Okay, I guess my big question is, in general, is why is change the way this company wants to do business preferable to show them that this model of how to conduct business is just going to be better in the long run?
Okay. Corporations view labor as a plague on the company, as a detriment to the company, because they remove money and affect profit. Employers would like to do away with all labor. That's why McDonald's, for example, is going to all these automated McDonald's where you just punch in your order at the table or at the door or something like that. And they just got a guy who just picks it off the shelf and gives it to you instead of somebody who's actually preparing it or taking your order. Okay. They want to reduce their labor costs at however they can. And if that's by cheating to work somebody 39 hours or 19 hours, they'll do it. If it's a way to take away health insurance from you, they'll do it. If it's a way to steal your pension money after 30, 40 years working for them, they'll do that.
They'll do it. Fuck yeah.
Without a question, they'll do it. They absolutely
Employers, corporations have a long history, several hundred years. Well, not several.
Yeah, I was working for Kmart when they went bankrupt.
Where
and I saw people lose their whole pension from.
That's
Kmart.
ridiculous.
It was horrible.
Except it probably went bankrupt because the upper management cashed in a bunch of hard and fast property of the company for money, and they paid themselves that money and stole the pension.
Kmart wasn't even paying their
So Puck,
get
I
product.
think, Puck, if I could kind of maybe give you my opinion on it, it would be that I think the difference is when you start a quote unquote mom and pop operation, and it's freaking great because you're all there for your employees, you know what's going on in their lives, and you can really become a family in a mom and pop operation. The problem comes is when those mom and pops get bought out by big corporations who don't give a shit about their employees. You're nothing but a number. They don't remember little things about you like, oh, wait, your wife had a baby. Let me send you flowers. The mom and pop would send you flowers and give you extra days off because that's what a mom and pop operation does.
That's right.
Walmart does that. They go in and they go into small towns and they just eradicate any local.
Yeah, because the corporate mentality going on in today's society is so out of control because it's not based on human need. It's based on the almighty dollar. And
also, a lot of the time, these big corporations can outcompete financially with these smaller people.
That's the whole point of what I was trying to say, is that the big corporation runs over the mom and pop shops that are in America today. And I mean, me personally, I'd rather shop in a mom and pop than a Walmart at any time, but that's just me. I make that effort because it's important to me.
That's called Walmart.
Sears bought Kmart.
I don't
or
do.
Kmart bought Sears.
I don't do Walmart. I do mom and pop shops, and I would rather have to pay that extra money to get the product at a mom and pop shop than I would at some corporate place, because I believe in knowing my neighbors and supporting my neighbors' business. But that's just me personally. That's my thing. But like here in Portland, the big thing that they have now is they have those waiters that are not waiters, they're just machines, and they put the food on, it delivers you to your table. That's cutting out jobs for so many waiters and waitresses out there. And you know what? It's in my opinion, it's not cool. I mean, I understand the concept with the pandemic and all, but damn, you got to consider your fellow man. In my opinion, again, consider your fellow man and really think what's good for a person of this society, not just the whole corporate thing,
That's why during the pandemic, when you're ordering,
What's that?
I was going to say, during the pandemic, when people are ordering takeout, they should still be tipping, because those wait staff are not getting the tips by filling your orders.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, anytime I pick tipped.
If one thing you can do.
I think Beck's trying to talk, but there's something going on with it.
He is, but he's kind of breaking up.
One beep for yes, two beeps for no.
I think Beck's internet hates him right now.
Yes, it does.
Can we let Beck try to talk first, please?
Ed, I'm glitching right now. Go ahead.
If you want to give labor a little boost, something that everybody can do is do not use the self-checkouts at any grocery store or any other store that has them, because that's a model to get rid of employees.
I fucking refuse. I don't work here. I don't want to bag my own shit and check it out. I'm going to use where I can use a person I could actually interact with and talk to. I refuse to do self-checkout.
You know how many people self-serve gasoline stations put out of business, put out of work?
Well, here in
each gas station usually had about 3 or 4 guys that they had hired.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in Oregon, it
full-time. I'm sorry. Your own gas.
No, yeah, in Oregon and New Jersey, unless you are a commercial truck driver and have permission to and have paid the taxes, you cannot pump your gas in Oregon and New Jersey. And they did that intentionally to create jobs. And it gave a lot of people jobs. Like
it's actually improve things. It's considered a starting job off of unemployment. And so when you file for unemployment here in Oregon, one of the first jobs they'll give you is pumping gas, and they try to help you move up from there, because it creates, I don't know the population, the numbers, so I would actually say more like thousands, if not hundred thousands of jobs in the entire state of Oregon. But it's a great way to start. It lowers our unemployment rate.
And the older guys that don't, that only want to work part-time, they go and work that. The kids go and work it after school, and the old men will work during the day. It really does. It really helps the economy. So it is almost 10 o'clock here. I have to be up in 7 hours and change, so I'm going to kill this stream. You guys, of course, are welcome to talk in the back room. If anybody is in the chat that wants to come in and talk in the back room to everybody, Gur or Maya or whoever, let me know, and I'll give you a link before we kill this stream. So I'll give you a couple minutes to do that.
Quick, so.
Thank you so much, Beck, for putting this on and allowing us to come in here and, just
it was good talk.
Everything was great.
Thanks for great. Yeah, I appreciate it. I don't know how much talk about toxic masculinity we got, but I appreciate being invited.
No, it's okay.
I think talking about all of the things that we talked about is
it's amazing.
It was really productive. And any of you guys that missed the first 45 minutes, 30 minutes of the stream, you should definitely go back and watch that, because that rolled the whole stream into where it went, and it ended up being amazing. So definitely go back and check that out.
Absolutely.
I think that all those companies didn't need unions because of toxic masculinity.
Well, anyways.
Magnus kicking and screaming back to the subject. That's
yeah, we don't want to go back to toxic masculinity now.
I'm forgetting her name, which is embarrassing, but it's a function of age. Look up Karen. What's her name? You can probably find it on Google if you were to do a search for Karen murdered oil company, Marathon Oil. You'll probably come up with it on Google and read the story about her and how she was murdered by her company because she was standing up for employee rights and environmental issues.
Well, that's fucking scary.
Didn't they make a movie out of that?
It was a lot more often than you think. it's real. I mean,
Karen L. Barkley was killed along with Locke at Marathon Savings Bank. Or maybe that's something else.
No, it's something else. Karen was killed in a car accident, supposedly.
I did a lot of research on Teddy Roosevelt and the meatpacking factories, and I can guarantee you there's lots of toxic masculinity factories back then.
And look up Senator Bob La Follette. He's another good person to know about if you're interested in labor and the development of employee rights on a federal level. He was a senator from Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Fighting.
Paul, how dare you say good? Bacon is fucking amazing. It's not good.
Bacon is the reason I'm not
Preach,
a vegetarian.
Sir. Preach.
I
Preach.
seriously thought I was in trouble for a second.
Bacon is the reason I can't be a vegan.
One last thing.
Bacon is everything.
One last thing I want to rant about. Maya mentioned earlier that employers hate employees, which is basically true. That's a paraphrase of what she said. And they would be happy to hire slaves if they could. Yes, they would.
They would be.
Any god who bans bacon is an evil god indeed.
Woo! Yes.
Yes, I
yes,
did.
Yes. Bacon is
Word.
the end all
Agreed.
be all, man.
Bacon on top of
And
a maple donut.
And on that note, we're going to end this stream. Everybody in the chat, I appreciate you so much for coming by. I love you guys, and I love the support you give to our community and each other and everything. Everybody on the panel, thanks for coming in and joining me and creating this amazing conversation. I love all of you. Like, seriously, I love you guys. And just remember to take care of yourselves. Take care of one another.
Put it in my face.
And I don't know if you can see me. Have peace in your life.
Yes,
Bye,
sir.
everybody.
Love you back. Love you back.
Love you. Love you guys too.
Socialism.
Thanks for having me.